could be with anyone, you're here with me. You're here with me. You could be around for me. You could be with anyone, yeah, I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? How you doing? This is James from My Take on Reality. Let me get a one in the chat to make sure that you guys can hear me. You can see me. Everything is copacetic. I'm not sitting here talking to myself, making an ass of myself per usual. I appreciate. I see the ones coming in. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Awesome. So welcome to the show. Make sure you guys take Lizzie B's hints. Go ahead, come on in. Give James that HBO special. Click the like button for this live stream. I'd appreciate it so much. It not only helps me by putting a smile on my face, but it helps the reach of the channel as well as the show so that we can keep on growing and growing and growing and getting this all motto on point. Guys, I am very excited. I got some stuff popping off this week. I was able to get some things down, and as it turns out, bro, man is able to settle a lot of his stuff. So I will be having some things coming out as a, for instance, on a more steady basis. I've been trying to push the lives a little earlier. Hopefully, everybody is okay with that. Just because I know that when Sister Wives starts on April 20th, and we do the after show party, where I am, the show airs at 11 o'clock or at 10 o'clock, and it runs till 11. And so we don't get started till 11 o'clock. And if we go 2 hours, we're already looking at like almost 1 o'clock in the morning, which is crazy if you got to get up. So I'm trying to be, mindful and considerate of people who actually have to get up in the morning on Mondays so that way they can participate in the show and they don't have to necessarily worry about the bedtime. This is for my East Coast fam. Like the West Coast fam, you guys are golden. Like this is like your afternoon time. Like the sun is still up, you know. But it could be a little rough for my Easterners, especially them Northeasterners. Not only do they have to get up early, but it's cold outside. It's still cold, so we gotta be careful. I have some news. Like I said before, I'm happy to announce that I've been able to get some things done, and hopefully I can get things streamlined right so that way I can keep dropping new content. I'm shooting for dropping new content every day. Tomorrow I have the members content, which I am very happy to present. This is the thumbnail for the members content that I will drop. I might, after the live is over, I might just drop it, give an early drop to it. And then it'll run to Monday and Tuesday for the members. And then by Wednesday, it's going to drop for everybody to be able to see. Because like I said, I like to have stuff where to show appreciation for the members. I want to give them a little preview of some of the videos that drop. But for everybody else, I want them to be able to at least be able to participate in everything that we do so that way everybody's on board. But this is the thumbnail for the video tomorrow or later tonight. Motivational Mondays, when loving them hurts you. Oh, baby, let me put that back up. When loving them hurts you. I don't know. I tell a story in that where, have you ever, basically the videos like this. Have you ever been in a relationship with somebody where their presence in your life is so important to you that you don't, like, even though they might not treat you the best, they might not give you everything they should give you, they don't give you the respect they should give you, and sometimes they slight you a little bit, but you don't say anything, right? And you always have, like, when that situation happens, and this doesn't necessarily have to be, because a lot of times, channels and people who talk about these things only talk about it through the lens of, in a relationship, the person that you're loving and the person you're in a relationship with, they treat you wrong, and that person is horrible, and blah blah blah. These types of situations transcend romantic relationships. It could be a relationship with your friend, your sister, your boss, coworkers, where, it just seems like deep down inside that if you say something, it's just going to create problems. It's going to create issues. So you don't say anything because you want to keep and maintain that relationship, especially if you really don't want to. Like, is it worth the problem? Is it worth the argument? I know that if I say something, they're just going to get pissy and it's going to be a problem. So you don't say anything and you let them continue to treat you that way. And then ultimately, what happens is, after a long time of them being able to treat you that way, that just becomes normal for them. This is just how they treat you. And you find yourself kind of stuck in that cycle. Well, I'll run through some situations and scenarios where that happens, and then maybe even why you let it happen. Whether it's you don't want to offend that person or you want to protect that relationship, you don't want to lose that relationship. And this is where I was getting into some of the things that I was talking about during the Coyote Pass video that I just released. They stole my land, that video. Where you wind up staying in these relationships, in these situations, not necessarily because you're dedicated to loving this relationship or loving how this person treats you, or you even want this situation in the first place. It just comes down to you stay in these situations because you're so used to being in these situations. You're so used to doing it, you just keep doing it. And half the time you don't even know why you're still doing it. Why am I still hanging out with this jackass and I don't even like them? You know what I mean? Like, you just keep going back. You keep going back, and it's a partly habit, or is it just and something that you're doing? And then people around you will always ask, like, well, why don't you say something? Why do you stick around? Why do you let this happen? What's wrong with you? Don't you respect yourself? Da da da. And there's always that point where, you know, we, as I talk about in the video, like, there's that point where you have to ask the question, do you let this happen? Because ultimately, if you say something, that's the end of the relationship. If you say something, deep down that they don't give a shit, that it's hurting your feelings. So you telling them to start caring or start being compassionate, that's not going to happen because they don't care enough. They don't care enough to change. And part of the reason why you don't say that is you recognize they don't care. They don't care enough to change. They don't care that they're hurting your feelings, and they don't care enough to change their behavior because it'll make you more comfortable. And I run through a lot of those different types of scenarios. And I also talk about an experience that I had because, again, I think that when as I'm watching Meri and I'm using some of the references that I use, watching other people, learning from other people's experience, when she talks about the worthy up experience, she's not talking about, it's almost like she's talking about it from up here and everybody else is down here. Y'all need to worthy up. Y'all need to start respecting yourselves like I do. I'm not that person. Okay. I'm flawed. I make mistakes. I've been in shit situations before. I've been in shit relationships before. And these are some of the things that I've observed from my experience and how I dealt with them and things that I picked up from these things that I encountered. So again, this will be the motivational video, which I'll be releasing. Actually, I'm going to release it tomorrow on Monday, but it will come out early Monday morning. And then it will be available for everybody. Everybody will go super public on Wednesday. And this is what it looks like. Motivation Mondays, when loving them hurts you. Very excited about it because it touches on some stuff that I'm passionate about. Make sure you get treated right, and how I learned to navigate that situation. Oh, Daisy Reyes, you gotta love them from a distance if it's family. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes that's true, and that doesn't matter like which part of your family it is. Sometimes you recognize that they are who they are. And that's another point too. I didn't really get make it super clear in the video. Now that I think about it, good point, Daisy. Another really good point is you don't want to be in a situation where you force yourself to be around people just because you're supposed to be around them. You're supposed to want to do them. And that's one of the draws, like actually that's one of the big draws that like toxic parents or toxic young folks use against you is that you're supposed to always want to help them. And it can get like even in bad situations where you find yourself enabling people who need different type of help or need tough love, but you can't bring yourself to give them that tough love or give them that separation because you feel guilty about not being right up on top of them and doing everything that they want you to do. So you feel like this is something I'm supposed to do. This is how I'm supposed to feel. And if I don't do this, then there's something wrong with me because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. But as Daisy points out, sometimes, the best way that you can love some people is from a distance. Some folks, you can only see them twice a year for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And maybe the occasional barbecue before but and everybody got that one family member before the booze start flowing and the arguments start like, oh crap. They're gonna sit there at the card table. It's only gonna be a matter of time now. They've been drinking nonstop since they got here. And it's only a matter of time before somebody get in an argument over somebody else and something stupid. So sometimes that's just what it is. Or it could even be a job. You don't have to fix everybody at work. You don't have to have like this perfect relationship with everybody at work because you're there to get paid. Like the whole purpose of you is not to go there and make friends, is to go there and make money. So you have somebody you don't get along with at work. Is it worth it? Like that's a balancing act, and that's what I'm saying. Like as far as like everything isn't just a communication issue, or you got to put them on Front Street, got to put them on blast. Sometimes you got to measure yourself. Is this a conversation worth having? Am I going to be around this person long enough to where this conversation's one going to matter? Two, is it worth the aggravation of even having a conversation? So, but we get into that. So very excited about it. Gloria Lopez, what did you have to say? First live. I'm always watching playbacks. I love this channel. Thank you for your videos, James. Thank you for watching them. Love your perspective. Appreciate you. Okay. Thank you. Welcome. There was also somebody else that they came in early. We'll give them a quick acknowledgement. 80% CMOS. Not me being on time for a live. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Oh, we have Lizzie B coming in. Gifted one My Take on Reality membership. Thank you so much, Lizzie B. I appreciate it. So you guys will be able to watch the Monday morning videos. Plus, I did my 90-day fiance talking about a gentleman who has a daughter she's an adult daughter who is opposed to her father getting married to a young lady from France and growing his family. So the young lady from France already had a baby named Clayton. He's older. I think he's like 10 years old or so. And then she just had a baby, Maria, with this man, Mark, and the daughter Jordan is losing her mind. So I have posted that. That's up today. And I want to give a shout out to that video if you guys want to check it out. In that video, it's not just about like the 90-day fiance situation, as much as I touch on some of the issues with the manosphere or red pill manosphere perspective, where they constantly push out the idea or notion of the man being a provider and the guy who comes in and takes the family and raises it and gives everything monetarily, and he doesn't really have any emotional, psychological, or supportive role in the children's lives because that's woman's work because I'm a manly man and I do manly things. And there's so much emphasis in that. And one of the issues that I've always had, and it just struck me when I watched this particular 90-day episode, that one of the issues that I've always had with men holding out that they want to be the providers and they want to be the people who are taking care of everything with regard to the finances, and that's all they have to worry about and they don't have to do anything else. When you are the one who is making his sole role as the provider, and that's all I have to do. I just have to make money, go get the bacon, bring it home, let her fry it up in a pan, let her take, because usually that's what it is. She's got to do it. It's on the mama, right? Take care of these kids. That's not my responsibility. We see Cody, taking that attitude, like later on in the series. And when you do that, you take the role as provider. You can't be mad that these people now look at you for provision. You can't be mad that when the dude, Mark, is a pilot, right, by trade. He's a pilot. He owns a piloting company. He flew presidents around. This dude is like heavy duty. But that takes you away from your family. And if, in my perspective, and what I talk about in this video, here's the thumbnail for that, by the way. If you are, let's be, why Jordan feels betrayed. If you are the type of parent who so much of this relies on your ability to come in and work for the family, you're a pilot, so you're away from home a lot. And when it comes time for you to contribute to the family, all your contributions are money. You missing school plays, you missing after school activities, you're missing homework. They fall down, get hurt. You off at work. So when the mom is talking, if the mom is a good partner, she's covering for your ass, cloak of charity. She's giving you that cloak of charity. And while she's covering for you, what happens is she's telling the child that, daddy's out making money. Daddy don't love you. You don't ever come to stuff. No, your daddy do love you because he's out there working hard to provide for you. So therefore, the child is put in a situation where they have a correlation between love, attention, compassion, and everything else with how much do they give me? How much money are they giving me? So when somebody else comes into the father's life, I think that's why this young lady is so pressed about the father's resources and the father's money, because how dare you share your love with another person or another woman or another child, my sister? How do you share that love that should only be exclusively for me? And I think that that's part of Jordan's struggle. A lot of the reason why I made the video is because a lot of folks who are watching it have made the assumption that the young lady, the adult daughter, is poor. And she's broken. She brokety broke, and she's just waiting around like a goblin fiend and a ghoul for her father to die so she can come in and take all his money. But as it turns out, she's a functioning, healthy part of his business. Not in addition to that, she's an airplane broker. She sells airplanes and jets and stuff. In addition to that, she has multiple businesses, including online businesses, so on and so forth, that puts her in a situation where she's, as far as I can see, relatively successful. So I don't think it's about her chasing his money. And she's engaged to a guy who used to play for the NFL, like play football. So I don't think she's chasing him for his money because she needs his money. I think she's protecting and jealous and envious of the fact that he's sharing the resource that she always was told was so important. And I explored that in that video. So check it out. It's a lot of fun to make. So I'm excited about getting all this content up. And I hope you guys enjoy it. But that's not why we came tonight. We came to talk about this dang old Coyote Pass. The Coyote shall not pass. Yeah, I have the okay. Well, we got a special message from Lizzie B. Stay tuned. There will be another gifting of membership. Gifting during the live stream. Make sure you are eligible to receive one. Check your settings, select at random. Let's get it. Yeah, because Lizzie B has been very generous with the give her a round of applause, because Lizzie B has been very generous about making sure more folks can participate in the membership program. So I want to give her a special round of applause, Lizzie B. She's been really supporting the channel. So Yeah. Oh, and before I get too far afield, just a quick reminder. I noticed that in the last chat we had, there were some folks or a person who came into the chat and was being a little disruptive. Here's the deal, folks. Here's the deal. One, well, first and foremost, we have to respect the moderators. Like, I understand that if they say something to you, it might get a little tight. Shit happens. I get it. But at the same time, please understand that the moderators are doing one, they're doing a fantastic job. Two, they're making it possible for me to be able to do a lot of the things that I'm doing because I have a whole bunch of shit going on my end. And they make it possible for me to be able to present on the live stream without having to worry necessarily about what's going on in the chat. They're doing me a huge service. They're doing me a huge service. You guys have no idea what a big deal they are. But I want to make sure that we're being respectful of the moderators. They are not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. They're not trying to, and I've asked them not to put too much regulation on speech. But we do have some things that we're trying to get done. Like, we want to make sure that we have a healthy environment. We want to make sure that we have an enjoyable environment so that people can actually tune in and enjoy their time, not only in the live streams, but the chats as well, in the comment section. Because YouTube, and this is what I've always said, YouTube should not be a place that you go to pull your hair out. If you find yourself, not just on my channel, on anybody's channel, you find yourself, screaming at look, we watch Sister Wives. We watch 90 Day Fiance. We watch Love After Lockup. We watch a lot of these different shows. Any one of the Housewives episodes. You watch enough shit that make you want to pull your hair out. Okay? You watch enough stuff to make you go crazy and get your blood pressure up and have you like cussing to yourself and talking under your breath. This mother, who they think they is? They're ridiculous. You know what I mean? I wish a mother would try some shit like that with me. Watch enough of that. You don't need that when you come to YouTube. And we're just trying to sit around and have a good time. This is one of them things we just trying to bust it up for a little while, have a good time, chit chat with each other, and enjoy each other's company. And if possible, where possible, we want to support each other. We want to try to make each other better. That's part of the reason why I put out the Motivational Monday stuff. It's not just me talking shit. Oh, God, we're going to be number one. Yeah, let's get it done. No, it's me trying to throw my positive energies out on how I deal with certain things, or what I see, just to let people know that when you struggle with things, you're not struggling through these things by yourself. You're not alone. And that's one of the big things for me, is that making sure people understand they're not alone. Part of the reason why I talk about some of the issues the way I talk about them on Sister Wives is because some of the things that we watch on Sister Wives, granted, is ridiculous. And 99% of us will never have the problems where we're arguing over $2 million worth of land, or we're sitting around arguing over a house, there's one of 5 or 6 houses that our family or spouse share. Like, we're not going to be in that situation, but we can be in a situation where we're not being treated right. We can be in a situation where we're not being considered by the person that we're in a relationship with. We can be in a situation where we're in a relationship for too long that we should have left long ago. We can be in any one of these things that we talk about as an issue that these women go through. And as part of what I like to do on this channel is I like to support people who might be in that situation, because let's be honest, when you're doing this and you're in that situation and you have these things going on, you feel dumb as shit. You feel dumb because we like to pretend like they don't know that their relationship is jacked up. You think that Christine, Meri, and Janelle didn't know their relationship was fucked from the time that Robin came into the family and before? You think they didn't understand that Cody was ignoring them and wasn't giving them the love, time, and attention that they needed or deserved? You think that they waited and they just discovered it when the YouTube videos started dropping and the fans started putting in their 2 cents? No, they knew the whole time. But sometimes it takes you a little while to get caught up with doing the things that you want to do. And this is actually something I talk about in that video. So check that out. But the Motivational Monday video is that if you actually left, or if the person who is involved with this toxic type relationship left when they first told them to leave, told themselves to leave, they would have been out of that relationship a long time ago. They didn't need you to come in there and be like, this dude's an asshole. You're right. They didn't need you for that. What they need you for is they need you to be compassionate and understanding. They need to work their way around that decision. They have to come to the conclusion that this is something I don't want to participate in. A lot of us, the hardest thing as a parent, as a good friend, as a family member, is to sit around and watch people that we care about make these types of decisions and choose to stay or participate in these types of relationships where they're telling them, you guys need, this dude is or this woman is, you need to get the, and your loved one is like, I don't see it, we in love, you can't just go, you try to block my love, you try to block my blessings, and you're sitting there arguing, you know what I mean? And every time you say something, this is one of those weird places why people don't say stuff. You're afraid that if you keep talking about it, eventually they're going to stop wanting to hang out with you, because all you want to do is talk about how this person is a bad person and you running down a relationship, and that's why they have problems in a relationship. You ever talk to somebody about their relationship and they wind up blaming you for the relationship being bad? Like you got some power, some control over why this mug is cheating on them. You know what I mean? I have nothing to do with that. I'm just telling you. This is what they doing, and you don't have to put up with it. I know, but you keep talking about it. You the reason why we have problems that we have, and that's why they went out and did what they did, because you don't believe in my relationship. What? What? So, but all in all, I just want to make sure that we're respecting the moderators, we're respecting each other. And I'm going to be honest with you. I've said it from the beginning, and I'll say it here once again. I have no problems with people coming in and disagreeing. Like if I say something, I'm not pretending like I'm in the house with Robin and Cody or Janelle and Meri and Christine, and they're all my best friends, and we be talking on a week. I'm not that one. Like, I recognize some of the assessments I'm making are based on things that I heard off the show, things I picked up from other outlets or whatever who have reported on it. A little dab of my common damn sense, like Cody going off for 5 hours to see this woman. They said they wasn't sleeping together. I don't believe it because I have common sense. So a lot of that goes on. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm an authority on these people's lives. And because I don't do it, I recognize that I could be wrong. So I'm open to the fact that I could be wrong. I'm open to the fact that maybe I'm misjudging Cody and Robin. Maybe Cody and Robin, they're good people. Cody's a great father. And it's that damn TLC. It's that damn TLC making him look bad when he's a great man. I mean, I would love to have that conversation with somebody who actually believes that, or somebody, Robin made all kinds of sacrifices to be there, and you guys don't respect it. It's Christine, Meri, and Janelle who were blowing things. Like, actually, and for those who don't know, there was a issue with a person in the comment section from last video, and I invite them onto the channel. I will platform your ass. We can have the conversation. I have yet to meet anybody who supports Robin or Cody. And I'm open to the possibility that I could be wrong. And I'm definitely open to a conversation about it. I'm not running from anything. I'm not running from anybody. It is what it is. I say it what I say it. And I'll bring my receipts. You bring your receipts. Let's meet in the middle and have the damn conversation. I'm not scared to have a conversation. But what I can't have happen, I can't have people just come in and troll the comment sections or troll the chat or troll, especially when my moderators say something, all of a sudden bump them, they blah, blah, blah. And you have a whole lot to say about them because they're just doing what I asked them to do. So again, if you guys have an issue or a problem, you can reach out to me at my email. I have no problem with talking to folks. Zero. Or you can hit me up on SpeakPipe. You have an issue or a problem, decision that was made, you have a complaint or compliment. Hell, I take compliments too. Everybody like compliment. Who don't want to hear that they awesome? Who don't love hearing awesome messages? You can leave a message on SpeakPipe. Okay, there's a ton of ways that I have for people to be able to get in touch with me. I think, to be honest with you, it just occurred to me, I think I'm one of the more accessible YouTubers. Like, because I have the email, the call-in show, and the SpeakPipe where you can call it. So I have a ton of ways that you can get in touch with me. There's no need for you to sit there and be bitter and mad because something happened and you feel upset. So we can do this. We can do this. But I'd love to have a conversation again. If you are the type of person who believes, like genuinely believes, not just trolling, not just trying to piss people off because you don't like Christine and Meri or Janelle, and so you just want to say nasty stuff about them, but you actually have a point. You actually have a perspective. You believe that Robin is a good person. Call in. I'd love to talk to you. You think Cody is doing a wonderful job and these treacherous ass women are breaking his heart and breaking him down, and he did everything he was supposed to do, and Robin did everything she was supposed to do, and they was making sacrifices, but it was these three evil wenches who somehow decided to be happy. How dare you find happiness for yourself and not put the family first? If you think that, call in. Please call it. Please call it. Because I would love to talk to you. And I'm not just being like, condescending or, well, I guess I'm being a little facetious because that's kind of an asshole move. But, I would love to talk to you because, I want to hear somebody who genuinely believes that. I want to hear from somebody who genuinely believes it. Maybe you'll open my eyes and you'll give me a different perspective. See, that's the one thing, guys, that I want to be very clear on. When I ask people to call in, or I say I want to hear from you, or I say I want to hear a different perspective, I'm not just saying that because I want to try to push my narrative or push my beliefs. That's not what I'm doing. I'm saying to you that I recognize I could be wrong. I might have misjudged something. I could have missed something. And I want to give you the opportunity to call into the show to give me a perspective or give me some insight that I might be missing. And who knows, I might change my mind. I'm willing to change my mind. I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, and I'm willing to change my perspective or my opinion based on new information. That's the whole thing. I'm willing to take in new information. So again, if you're disagreeing or you have a perspective or a point, just go ahead and voice that opinion, voice that point. But all I'm asking for is be respectful and be mindful of other people. We don't have to sit here and call each other names. We don't have to insult each other, but we can just be respectful. And, I really need you guys to respect my moderators because, like I said, they're doing me a tremendous favor. And I can't reiterate that enough or stress that enough. They're doing me a tremendous favor by participating in the show and helping out because they can sit back and just chill and do whatever. They don't have to do this stuff for me, and they choose to do it, and I appreciate it. So I'll make sure we take care of them. All right. Sky Blue 1313 said, "Oh, James, please don't hold your breath until someone calls in defense of Grody." Yeah. That could be flawless victory. Fatality. Yeah, it'll be over for a kid. I think that because again, I've yet to run into anybody who genuinely comes out in defense of good. Like, I mean, some of the points that I've seen made in defense of Cody aren't necessarily bad points, but they leave a lot out. You know what I mean? Like it would work if if you only look at this much of what happened and you ignored everything else, yeah. And Cody's an awesome dude. If you just paid attention to like, for instance, if you just paid attention to what Cody said in the intro, hi, I believe love should be multiplied, not divided. If you listen to that shit, you're like, oh, this dude is serious. He's just an open-hearted, caring person. Who could be against that? But, you ignore like all the signs. And I'm also, let's be honest about that. Sometimes some people, when they call in and they're on Cody or Robin's side, they're ignoring a lot of the signs that some of us may be aware of because maybe they lived very sheltered lives or they grew up in a certain with a certain mindset. So when they see things or they hear things or they talk to folks, they just understand it a certain way because they don't know what to look for. Like, for instance, if you have a friend or a family member or even one of your kids, right, and they get into a relationship with a person, then all of a sudden in that relationship, the person they're with encourages them to isolate themselves. All of a sudden, you can't get a phone call back. You can't talk to them. They don't never have time. The person they're with, they don't like you because you're always lipping off about their relationship or whatever, causing problems. Then that you find that, especially for children, this is a big thing for me. Secrets are being kept. You can't share information. You can't talk to them, and they start cutting lines of communications. That shit to most people would be a huge red flag that something is amiss. It's not guaranteeing that there's a problem, but it's an indicator that you would look at and say, I need to pay attention to something because there's something not right. There are other people who would say, well, yeah, I mean, they just in a relationship. They just want their relationship to grow and they just want to have that space to where they can make things happen. And they need to have that closeness between the two of them without having any involvement from anybody else and anybody else's opinion. There are people who take that position too. The most important thing is for them to communicate with each other, not necessarily with their mom, their dad, their friends, their brothers or sisters or whatever. There are people who take that position. I get it. But for me, that's a big red flag. Again, not saying anybody guilty of anything, but that's when I'm already paying attention, but that's when I really start looking. Yeah. What? Yeah, he didn't want me to call you back. Why? Because, he doesn't like people being involved in our relationship. What? Okay. Okay. But there are people who look at that. There's some people who grew up in these communities. Let's not ignore the fact that you have people who call in from Salt Lake or call in from these different areas who believe that the OG theory were wrong. They were influenced by the outside world. That's why they abandoned the family. How dare you turn your back on your husband, your, what do they call it? Your priesthood holder or whatever. I think I'll use that term right. Your the person who's in charge. How dare you turn your back on them? So they would look at it like Christine, Meri, and Janelle are messing the family up because they're breaking the family up. They're the ones who asked for a divorce. They're in the manosphere. What I know, they're going to turn in my favorite whipping post. But in the manosphere, there's a movement. Part of the manosphere has a movement where they don't want women to be able to file for divorce. They want you. There was a guy, some idiot, who went viral because he said, like, in the event that women should never get divorces because there's no reason for them to ever ask for a divorce. They have to be there and they have to just, deal with it. And he said, well, what about cases where things get physical? People being physically mistreated. I can't say the term. YouTube will knock me off the channel. But, things are happening physically. And he said, well, if things are happening physically, the women's supposed to stay. They got to endure. They got to endure the suffering because they got to think of other people like the kids. They got to think about society. Forget their happiness. Forget the fact that this dude come home half cocked because he got bullied at work and he too bitch made to sit there and say anything to his boss. He get to come home and slap up his wife or do something. Yeah, I'm gonna get myself in trouble. He get to come in and talk crazy to his wife or do something to his wife or do something to his kids, but she can't ask for a divorce because we got to keep the family together, and she got to endure that because that's the love of the family. She got to think about other people. All that kind of idiot stuff. That kind of idiot stuff. You have people who believe that shit, and they will tell their women, they will tell their daughters, they will tell their sisters, their sons that you get to do whatever you want to do. Son, you get to treat her however you want. As long as you coming in and you paying a couple damn bills in the house, you can do whatever you want. And there ain't nothing she can do to you or say to you. And there are people who believe that. And I'm not gonna paint with a broad brush, but to say that I can see a segment of those folks falling in line and saying that, yeah, Cody did everything right. And it was these women's fault that the family broke up because they weren't adhering to the things that they promised. They promised that they would be a part of the family. They made pledges that they would keep their word and join this family and do what they need to be in this family. And they broke that. So they're wrong. I can see people saying it. And when if we have a conversation, because you want to call in, we can explore that and we can go back and forth on it. And I'll give your perspective, you'll give mine. Maybe, one of us could change the other person's mind. Maybe you can't. But I don't fear the expression of ideas. I don't fear the people having these kind of conversations. So that's my thing. Sorry, I went crazy. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Who was this? Sarah Coverdale said, but polygamy, they don't pay anyway. LOL. Yeah, because Sarah, the reason they don't pay, because as the man, the patriarch, my job is not to take care of you or your kids. My job is to look at the big picture. I'm supposed to be looking at the big picture. Everybody, and make sure everybody is taken care of. Not necessarily with my dime, my dollar. That's the shit Cody used to say. I'm like, what? Everybody's like, I gotta look at the big picture. Well, why are you sitting there spectating? There are players in the game who got shit going on. You need to get involved, man. Don't sit on the sidelines just staring out, and you can actually make a difference. Get involved. This is not a spectator sport. This is a participation project. You got to get in, get your hands dirty. This is parenthood. That's what it is. You can't sit by and watch your kids just kind of grow like wild leaves or wild weeds out there in the world doing whatever they want to. You got to get in there and put your hands in the dirt. You got to work the earth. You got to try to make it mold these children. You just don't let them grow up like, well, I don't understand why they don't call me when they don't respect me. It's like I wasn't around when they were children or something. You weren't. So, yeah. So, in that case, yeah, they don't pay. Yeah, what they do is criminal, and you know what they say about criminals and crime don't pay. That's all I'm saying. Just ridiculous. CJ Harris, the man. Why does Cody say picture like pitcher? It drives me nuts. Yeah, that's just how they talk. That's their accent. I know what you mean. I picked up on that too. It's like a pitcher, and when they say deal, they call it a dough. It's like a relic big dough. I love it. Michelle Hallman with the longest game in the Monopoly ever. Oh, we have a super chat from Daisy Reyes, 499 super chat. Cody sounded like Christian Bale in American Psycho in the pilot episode. LOL. Yeah, he did. He was totally tapping into that. Hi, I'm Cody Brown. And like with the non-blinking shit, like his eyes wasn't blinking at all. Hi, I'm Cody Brown. I want you to meet my family. Like this dude got some people in the basement. Go down and get a search warrant, Jack. Call the police, call the judge. This fool is taking people out. He's reducing the population. They call him population control because apparently homeboy is knocking folks off. Like this, I mean, look, if this was a horror movie, you'll be like, he's clearly doing some shit. Put the camera down, pick up the phone, and call the police. Hi, I'm Cody Brown. You know what I mean? It's like right before he put on like his apron, his leather ass apron, his drenched in blood. You know what I mean? What is going on? And he got like the hillbilly haircut, like the reverse mullet. What is going on? He's like, I'm all good times. What do you say? Business in the front, party in the back. He's like, I got the party all over. Yes, I do. He one of them serial killers that don't curse. He be like, skippity doo dah. when the people escape, you know, because in the movies, somebody always escape. He'd be like, oh, fiddly sticks. They go chase him. I'm sorry, I'm going crazy. Oh, but having too much fun on a Sunday night. At Cody's expense. James, you gotta be ashamed of yourself. There's a new video. Yep, Coyote Pass. Why it mattered to Janelle and Meri. Yes. So we can talk a little bit about that. Let me put up, before we get too far afield. What's that? Oh, Betty in the house. What's up, Betty? Betty in the house. Let's see. Brittany, not Brittany, and CJ, because that's how Robin pronounces it. If you do a rewatch, pay attention to how she says experience. I think she says experience at the beginning of the show, and how Cody says it in recent episodes. He says it like her, yeah, because he's a chameleon. Like he's just around her ass too much. But let me give Daisy. Did I give Daisy a little something with that? Daisy sent me off on a tirade of unfortunates. We'll call it that. A tirade of unfortunates. But Daisy Reyes in the house. Let's give a little something party. That was slick. Christian Bale in American Psycho. Yeah, plastic dude. Hi. You like my business cards? All right. Roger Dodger. I'm going to dance. Yeah, that was totally Cody. He was giving off them American Psycho vibes. Like, if I was sitting there filming him, I'd be like, what the fuck are we watching? They were like, apparently James didn't come into work today. Yeah, I ain't going back to that house. Are you crazy? Like, one of us going to mess around, open up the wrong closet door and see some shit we ain't supposed to see, and all of a sudden the damn steel shutter's going to come down? Nope. I'm going to be the survivor. I'm going to be the one that's going to talk to the police and the news reporters afterwards. I knew something was wrong. I knew it wasn't right. Did I show you the footage? Hi, I'm Cody Brown. Yeah, there was something wrong with him. I'm telling you, don't. We don't do that. Thank you, Daisy. Big shout out from YouTube is my time machine in the house. $5 super chat. YouTube is my time machine. YouTube is my time machine was rocking with me on my first live, very, very first live. James, do you feel if Cody had brought Christine's house for Janelle, he would have tried to screw both of them out of equity? I felt that was his plan. Yeah, he was going to screw, because when he tried to get her to seriously buy a house, it was actually twofold. One, he wanted to get her up off of Coyote Pass, because she was asking way too much about Coyote Pass. She was there taking up, trying to live on Coyote Pass in that damn trailer. He's like, she's going to mess around and squat on that property. And because if you think about it, I didn't even really think about it till just now. Thank you, YouTube is my time machine. I wonder, what does Arizona have squatters' rights? Let's look that up. Oh, this is what I'm talking about. See, thank you so much. YouTube is my time machine. This is what I'm talking about through conversation. You just watched it. You witnessed it. YouTube is my time machine just gave me some information, made me privy to something that I did not consider before. Yet, does Arizona have squatters' rights? Yes, Arizona has laws regarding squatters' rights, also known as adverse possession, which allows someone to claim ownership of land after occupying it openly and continuously for a specific period, typically between 2 and 10 years, depending on factors like taxes paid and cultivation of the land. And that's what Cody was trying to stop. That's a very good point. I didn't think about that, or that angle of it. It's not necessarily that she definitely was going to have squatters' rights, but to cut through the bullshit, you remember when Cody was so determined and so committed to telling her that she had to move her van around, her thing around, and told her that, well, I mean, even though the family owns all 4 plots, and there's zero reason, like, because it's not like she was intruding on somebody else who was living on Coyote Pass at the time. He told her, well, even though we own all 4 lots as a family, because I'm thinking about the big picture, we own all 4 lots. When she was staying there, he kept telling her, you can't stay on the property. And then when she said, well, I could just move it over to, well, did you get their permission? Like, she didn't have permission from somebody. Like, they give a damn. Why can't I move my trailer 1, 2, 3 houses down? She should have been able to start living on that one property that was supposed to be Robin's, then move over to the property that was supposed to be hers, then move over to the other property that was supposed to be hers, then move over to the other property that was supposed to be Christine, Robin, and Cody's. And she could have rotated that thing the whole time. But the problem is that piece of land, even though it was divided into 4 plots, was considered. You could argue that it was actually one piece of land because it was owned by the one guy that they were buying it from, that was sectioned off into 4 plots, and they themselves were having a transfer of all 4 plots over to the family. So if she was bouncing around and she's the only one who was living there, maybe his lawyer had told him, like, just be careful, that she could argue that she has certain ownership rights over Coyote Pass because she's living on Coyote Pass. And during the time that they were living there the same way, and this is again, the person who was kind of trolling us the other day, they had said, well, according to the paperwork and according to the laws, Cody and Robin's McMansion was gifted to them, and the money that Janelle and Meri and Christine contributed to their McMansion would be theirs because that'd be the law. Well, there is all, and the money they used would be family money. Well, the family money was also used to make substantive changes to the property, cultivation projects to the property. And if Janelle was the one who was living there benefiting from those cultivation properties or projects, then I could see somebody arguing that Janelle actually cultivated the land. She was living on the land. She developed the land. So therefore, this land is her land. Like, so, and again, lawyers a lot of times, but let me give YouTube's my time machine a little something, just real quick. Lawyers a lot of times when they talk about this kind of stuff, they can't tell you, no lawyer should be able to tell you, you definitely could do this. You definitely don't have to worry about that. Because anybody can file paperwork. Anybody can put in a motion. Anybody can put in a petition. And it's up to the courts to decide whether that petition, motion, or whatever has standing, whether it actually has merit. And if a court decides that, hey, she stayed there, the family money was used, and as the person pointed out, who's on Cody and Robin's side supposedly pointed out, the family money was used for everybody. So if Janelle used the family money to improve the land and she stayed there openly, let's just use the terms from the text, uh adverse possession, which allows someone to claim ownership of land after occupying it openly and continuously for a specified period. So Janelle didn't plan on moving from Coyote Pass. That's a specified period. She was living on the land. Cody knew she was living there. It wasn't like she would leave when Cody showed up and she would disappear. Shit, you had Robin up there, the creepy ass watching up on the top of the hill, sitting on the damn daddy's bench the whole time. So she was living and occupying the land openly and without secrecy. So she would fit, like, just based off of this rudimentary. This is very rudimentary. This is not law. This is not case law. Please don't go there and try to cite me because you lose the argument. But I would have to dig into the specifics of it. But just with the first indication, there's a position where she might be able to make the argument that that's her property. And Cody might have tried to stop her from making the argument that that was her property. So when he did that, he was telling her, you got to get up off of Coyote Pass. And he tried to push her into Christine's house because Christine was selling her house. And he was pissed off that he wasn't able to capture the equity from that home, or he wasn't able, more importantly, not even so much the equity, but he wasn't able to maintain ownership over that property. So what he tried to do was he tried to get Janelle to buy that property for him. And then guess what? There's no way in the fucking world. I'm pardon my French, but I had to say it that way. Excuse me. Had to get it out of my system. There's no way in the world Cody was going to give Janelle family money and contributed family money for the deposit for her to purchase Christine's home, and his name don't appear on that property. There's zero chance of that. Zero freaking chance. There's absolutely, positively no way he was going to let her buy Christine's house. You know, we got family money. We could make it work out. If you just want to go ahead and buy Christine's house, we could do that. We could make it happen. You know, not a problem. There's no way he was going to push Janelle to buy Christine's house so that she could buy that house, live in that house, and then when Coyote Pass is all paid off and everything is great and she could move on to Coyote Pass, she put that damn house up for sale. And she talked about she going to use her money from her house and the equity from her house to build on Coyote Pass. There's no way he was going to let that happen. He damn sure wasn't going to let her build on Coyote Pass and not put his name on the property that she built on Coyote Pass. Everything that he did was 100% him trying to take ownership of things that, one, either he had very little to do with, he had nothing to do with, and if he did have a substantive part in it, he damn sure wanted to make sure he had his ownership rights in place so that he could take ownership and control of said property when the time came. All this was about land grab. All this was about land grab, 100%. And even if we give him the benefit of the doubt and say that when it started, it didn't start out as land grab because they was all family and they loved each other and all that. Even if we gave him the benefit of the doubt, the way the system was set up, and here's, again, one of my favorite parts of the conversations that we were having yesterday in the comment section of the Coyote Pass video with the person who was supportive of Robin and Cody. Everything that was said with regard to that was always in respect of it was legal. What they did, here's the legal ramifications. Here's what this means. Cody and Robin couldn't buy the house with a loan from Christine, Janelle, and Meri. It couldn't be family money that was an investment. They would have to gift Robin and Cody the money, which is true. Okay? But at the same time, when you are doing the wrong thing, you can pretend like you're doing it in the best interest of the family because ultimately you know the system will support you and it will not support them. That's one of the downsides of participating in polygamy as it stands right now. Because honestly, and I mean this, honestly, the legal married couple has far and away more rights than anybody else in that family. Meri started out, she had more rights than any one of them women. Any one of them. Mariah, Leon, that name Mariah, had more rights. They had more rights as a legal child than any one of those other children. It hurts to say that, but it's true. Because in order for Christine, Janelle, or even Robin, before she married Cody, if they wanted to leave and file for custody or file for child support, they would have to go back to court like Christine did with Truly and establish custody and establish paternity in order for them to be awarded custody and in order for them to be awarded any type of child support. Most cases in most states, I'm sure Arizona is probably one of them as well, and probably Utah is one as well. I know the state I live in and a few other states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Florida, and there's some other states for sure, that if you're married to a person, it doesn't matter if you're the natural father. It doesn't matter. You have legal rights over the child. It doesn't matter. That's not my baby. Look at that baby. That baby don't even look like me. It doesn't matter. There's a case in 90 Day Fiancé where I talk about that. Gino and Jasmine. Gino brought Jasmine up from Panama. She was married to him for about 6 months. Then she decided she wanted to open the marriage up and start sleeping with a dude she met at the gym. She turned around, got pregnant by said dude at the gym, and now she just, I think it was last week or week before last, had the baby from that union. Here's the secret to the sauce. Gino is going to be legally responsible for that child, because in Michigan, it doesn't matter whether Gino is a natural father or not. Gino and her weren't even living together at the time, but they were married. He knows that that's not his baby. Doesn't make a difference. She could sue him for child support. Same, on shoe another foot. He could also sue her for custody because he has legal rights because he was married to her. And that's what I'm saying. From that respect, Leon, Cody had more rights over Leon than he did even over, any one of Christine or Janelle's kids. Well, I think Janelle was a little different because she had Cody's name put on all her kids' birth certificates. So it wouldn't be as much of an uphill battle for Janelle. She still might have to go back and prove paternity because technically he was married to somebody else at the time. But, it was she definitely got a leg up. Let me give YouTube's My Time Machine a little something. Where's my thing? Oh, here we go. Yeah, but thank you, YouTube's My Time Machine. You gave me a little different perspective. I didn't really think about that with regard to that damn squatters' rights. Huh. Maybe Janelle's ass was getting slick. Maybe Janelle, because I didn't think about it, but Janelle's a licensed real estate agent. Her and Christine, so she might be aware of like squatters' rights and what the limitations are. And Janelle might have been up there pulling a 1-2 on their ass. She was flip-flopping them. Like, oh yeah, I don't know what I doing. I just gonna live on Coyote Pass. And everybody like, you fool. You gonna live there in that damn RV? Why you spending $95,000 on an RV staying on Coyote Pass? Because that $95,000 is fitting to get me $2 million. Oops. Oops. Yeah. Squatters' right. It is jacked up. Like people have used it before. Like I've heard about it before. Like people have gone and stayed places, especially places. It's a lot easier. Well, technically, I won't say it's easier, but I mean, there are rules and regulations where if somebody's living in a property, you have to get them evicted from said property. If they stay there for so long, it's considered their domicile. There was actually one case, real quick, story time. There was one case that I remember. A woman had owned a house and she lived in a cold region. I forget where it was. I want to say it was like Wisconsin or somewhere like cold, like Minnesota or something. And it was like crazy cold. And she saw this homeless person or this unhoused person. And she said, hey, it's so cold out here. I tell you what, you can come to my house. You can't come in the house, but you can stay in the garage, right? You can stay in the garage while it's this cold because it's too crazy out. He stayed in the garage for, I think, 2-3 months or something like that. And then it got to the point where she wanted him to leave and he wouldn't leave. And so she had to call, she called the police. The police were like, we can't put him out because he lives here now. And she took him to court, and the court had ruled that garage was now his domicile. Like he lived in that garage. He had every right to be in that garage. And if she could try to go through the expense, the hardship, and the time delay of having him evicted. but it was going to be uphill, and that's like she got screwed in that situation. So yeah, it's like the squatters' rights and a lot of that is difficult. Like I had another buddy, another story time. I had another buddy. He bought investment properties, and he had this one investment property. He bought the house and it was occupied, and which is always a plus when you're buying these type of properties. You but like you're buying like say an apartment thing, you have or duplex, you have tenants living in the duplexes already. You can claim that as income to offset your amount, and you don't have to do a whole lot of searching and stuff. And the one person who had lived in that damn duplex, they didn't pay their damn rent, and it took my buddy almost 6 months to a year to get them evicted. And when he got into that place, they tore that damn house up. I'm telling you, oh, I was like, oh man, if he ever see this dude, he is going to do something crazy to him. He tore that house up. He tore that house up. I think he was important shit. Like he had urban wildlife, if you dig what I'm saying. He had some urban wildlife up in that piece. The Brown family came to stay. Mr. and Mrs. Rats. He walked around. This dude had ratatouille up in there. You know what I mean? I don't mean the dish. Okay. They put that thing up in it, man. And he went 6 months to a year without receiving any income from the rent because obviously the dude wasn't paying. Not only was he not paying, he had tore the damn house up. Like he was punching holes and shit in the wall. He was busting up pipes out the damn wall and stuff. Tore the house up. And he clearly didn't have any money. So even if my buddy would have took him to court to sue him, he wouldn't have got anything. It would have just been an exercise in futility. And I'll never forgot that. I was like, this place is jacked up. Like, you ought to press charges, get his ass arrested. But yeah, it was terrible. And clearly he lost his he lost his security deposit. That security deposit was long gone. Yeah, but let me I'm gonna put the chat. I got there we go. Let me put this in the chat box. Give you guys an opportunity. But yeah, there we go. Let me just drop this out. I got stuff going on. Like feel like I'm in NASA. We have a launch. Here we go. Oops, I gotta put that in the other spot. Yeah, but I'm telling you, so those squatters' rights and all that stuff is kind of crazy. So I never thought of that though. Like, yeah, that could be a pot. Like, I don't know. Maybe that was a possibility. That's one of the questions. If I ever had an opportunity to interview or talk to Janelle, that would be one of the questions that I would ask her. And of course, she would deny it. I think even if Janelle was doing that, she would just kind of smile and be like, "No, no." So I don't even know if it'd be worthwhile just asking her. But I wouldn't necessarily ask her for her answer. I would just ask her for her reply. Difference. Answer is what they tell you. The reply is the full package, like how they respond to the question. And as you can see how it hits them. And if the question hits you a little different, like, yeah, no, I wasn't doing that. Like you were totally about to do that shit. It's like when Cody talk about like, yeah, was you knocking Robin's bottoms when you was out there driving 5 hours to go see her? No. I am not answering that question because it's against my religion. Anyway, did I tell you all the sex I was having with Janelle? That's how I feel about that whole like bullshit position he took. Like, I don't talk about the sex stuff because it's too personal. Yeah, anyway, let me tell you about the time I was rocking Janelle's world. The time I used to go over there and rock it with Christine. You know. Like, you're not covering up nothing. Oh, Pink Butterfly. The show will be back April 20th. And we will be doing the after show party. So as soon as the show airs. Oh, guys, that was one of the things I was going to tell you. I think I might be doing a watch along. I just got to figure out how to do it. Where I don't get my show my channel taken away. I want to do a watch along. I was thinking about like just having like basically two lives maybe, where I have one live where I'm watching the show and then one live where I do the after show. I just got to figure out the logistics on it. But yeah, because some of that stuff is just so crazy. All right, we have Christy up. What's going on, Christy? How you doing?
Good. How are you doing, James?
Doing very well. Welcome to the show.
Okay. Well, I just want to tell you, you really frustrate me because you
Okay.
come up with really good points that I haven't thought of, and you're making me feel really inferior. So that's my
No, not
beef
at all.
with you.
I appreciate that, but no need. Because actually, a lot of the some of the stuff, like I said earlier, was something I never even considered. Like the whole squatters' rights thing, that's something I never considered until somebody brought it up and kind of let me down, left the breadcrumbs out. So sometimes it's just a matter of the breadcrumbs.
Okay. Well, I'm hopefully I have a James moment right here now as well.
Okay.
Recently, I was watching Notes to Self, and she and Corey were, of course, they were talking about polygamy in general. And she kept mentioning about how you have to be worthy for this, worthy for that. And the word was used a lot. And I've never heard anybody put this together before, but then it kind of struck me. That's Meri's worthy up. That worthy tag isn't really that great because it kind of ties her into polygamy and kind of a pick me kind of a thing. You see what
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah. Okay. All right. You know what? Yes, yeah, that would qualify. Because I see what you're saying now. Like, because even because you know what? That is that. Wow. Okay. All right. I'm learning a lot tonight. Because the way that I would look at Worthy Up, being a part of the mainstream world, when I hear Worthy Up, I would think of like, yes, I am worthy. Yes, I deserve to have the type of life and lifestyle that I want and dream for myself. I deserve to have all the things I want. That's to me would be like the in line with Worthy Up. But it would tie into a lot of what you like, because like you said, I've heard Notes to Self 444 say that, Melanie and Corey say that before, about like you proving your worth and being worthy of a certain thing. Even when Cody had talked to her and he had said that when we came from Nevada, when they first moved to Nevada, she was talking to Meri was talking to Jen, saying when we first moved to Nevada, Cody came and told me that he was going to make me suffer for the time that we're here in Nevada, not Nevada. Yeah, it was Nevada, Las Vegas. For all the years that I made him suffer, he's going to make me suffer. And I have to prove my worth in order to be in the family. You understand what I mean? So even connecting those things, and he had like the whole list of to-dos, like the honeydew list that she had to complete in order, like it was like a video game task. Like you have to finish this task. You have to go to the mountain, see the man in the woods, and you have to go down to the cave and talk to the lady by the lake, and all these like little adventure quests that she had to achieve in order for her to reach the ultimate goal of coming back into the family, which actually I talk about in the video. When they get to Arizona, that's what made that whole Arizona thing so appealing and Coyote Pass so appealing to Meri, was because he told her, we're going to start over. We're going to have a fresh start because you have finally, if you do this for me, selling your house, and I'm about to land the plane, baby. If you sell the house and you move to Arizona, and you sell the house and give me the money, but you sell the house, give me the money, that will prove that you're worthy to be a part of the family. And so the idea of Worthy Up would tap into that community. It'd be like a password or a secret word that you would use, a secret phrase that you would use that we might not pick up on, but said in plain view, everybody who's a part of that group would understand what you're talking about. That's actually pretty good. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I
Oh,
mean, like I think all of us, I never thought of the worthy up anything other than, as you said, like the mainstream thinking of worthy up. That was my
mhm.
perception as well. And then when I was watching the notes to self, it was like boom. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that is just, I mean, I don't know if that's the way she meant it, but maybe subconsciously she did. And I just thought
Yeah.
that was weird because I've never heard anybody else mention that. And I thought maybe I was crazy, but then I don't know.
No, I think you're onto something. I mean, like as crazy as it is, there's a couple factors that I think go into play. Does she have deniability? I think that's always the question. She certainly has plausible deniability. Oh, I just happened to say that because it was something that was pressing on my mind and I felt like I was worthy and I'm showing my worth. That's the plausible deniability. So I will give her that. But at the same time, I do see where Meri is like, Meri does these interviews where she talks about like the issues and things that are going on Sister Wives. And she's been doing like for years, she does these interviews and she gives out like all these teasers about things that are coming up on the show and things that are happening. She teased out that she was going to have a book. She was going to drop a book. I don't even know if she wrote a page of a book yet, but a paragraph in a book. But she does these like these marketing teasers. And that lets me know that your mind is on marketing and trying to connect with your audience. And that would be a way for you to connect with your audience if you use familiar terms and phrases to targeted people that you're trying to pull into as as either a fan base or as a clientele or customer base. So the fact that she said, like you said, the fact that I'm giving it to you, like the fact that she said worthy up, it does sound like it was intentionally done. I'm not gonna say for sure it was, but it does sound like that is a plausible thing.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was necessarily intentionally done, but I think from her worldview, it may
Mhm.
have just seemed like a good word, even though she wasn't thinking of it in like the AUB type way. She was thinking of it in the mainstream way, but maybe her background influenced her subconsciously. That's all. But I just
Right.
thought it was kind of a strange thing. And I it just like slammed me in the face. And it was like, wow, never caught
Yeah.
that before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the only reason why I say it might have been intentional is because of how you use your familiarity with the word, like and how
Right.
you use it. And and I've heard her use worthy, proving yourself worthy, and people saying that she wasn't worthy. Because initially I thought she was responding to something that like either I've said, well, I know I've said it, but other people have said on YouTube and different like places have said, Reddit and all that, where if you allow people to treat you a certain way, then you have to know your worth and not allow them to treat you that way. And
Right.
I just took it as she was responding to that by saying,
Yeah,
you know, I'm worthy enough. But
exactly.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I can see it. You know, I'm when I say that and please for the Meri stands, for the Meri fans, don't take this as an insult, but I take it as a compliment because I do think Meri is smart enough to where she could connect those dots and she could see the advantage of tapping into the group because that's essentially what she's doing when she's a part of the MLMs. She's tapping into the hopes, dreams, and fears of that group of people. That's
Right.
how they work. So you know she does have experience in it. So I'm not willing to. I'm not going to say that this is what she's doing, but I'll just say that I wouldn't put it past her. You know what I mean? I'll leave it there. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay.
Okay, well, I had another point, but I don't want to keep you too long, so I will just let you go and get on to the next person. And I do
Well, do you
appreciate
want
your
to
time.
run it real fast? Let's hear it.
Well, I was just watching random episodes of Sister Wives because I'm going into withdrawal symptoms until April 20th. And I happened to watch the episode where Meri wanted to take Solomon with her to Utah to visit Leon when they were
Mhm.
having issues. And
Right,
of
right.
course, Robin and Cody weren't on board with that. And she ended
Yeah.
up, and I didn't remember this episode. I remembered that part really well, but I didn't remember too much about Brianna, where she ended up taking her. And I was
Mhm.
really shocked when they sent Brianna over to Mary's house to talk to her about going. And we all know Brianna, when she was really young, she was always crying and having fits about everything. But, and then of course, now how she's always has that face and the attitude. But I was really surprised because at that age, she was really articulate and so pleasant, and she was really funny. She was just seemed like a completely different child, and I just didn't remember that. It just
Yeah.
really kind of blew my mind because she was very likable in that
Mhm.
scene, and I don't really remember having those feelings about her at any time throughout the series. But that was
Yeah.
just interesting to me.
Yeah, because he spent a lot of time holding a lot of Robin's kids back from any real exposure on the show. And that could also been because her husband or ex-husband didn't want them on the show to begin with. So I mean that kind of might have played a part too. But I do remember the scene you're talking about and how it broke Mary's heart that she couldn't take Solomon with her. And I do remember them offering up Brianna as like it's kind of like the booby prize. Like, okay, you didn't get what you wanted, but you can take this one, you know.
Get her out of our hair.
Right. Right. But yeah, that but the one thing I will say when you invite like the next child up, it very well could have been a situation where Brianna's the one that would tell. You know what I mean? Like you said in the informant, like with him, because she was articulate. So you send a child who you know can observe and report. Like she can come back and tell, like, you know what I mean, tell on everybody ass.
Oh
This is
yeah.
what's going on, you know. So yeah, I can see that too. I can see that too. Because you know, Robin was always one of the people that wanted to be involved or know what's going on. Like she wanted the information. So
Oh yeah, it's just like sitting on the picnic table bench, gazing over, hoping to get a glimpse of Janelle at Coyote
right.
Pass.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That and the fact that here's another weird thing because even if you make the argument that she didn't feel comfortable sending her child down there with Meri, I would say that there's also the possibility that Robin let Brianna go because she realized that she might look bad if she told Meri absolutely not, you can't take any of my kids. So
Oh
she
yeah,
sent
of
off a
course.
kid that okay, well if I got to send one kid, I'll send that one.
Yeah,
you
oh,
know
I totally believe that. But I was just
Mm.
really surprised because I just didn't remember Brianna ever being like that. And she was she was really a different child, it seemed like, compared to what I've
Yeah.
seen before and since then. And I just thought that was very interesting because I didn't remember that part.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. Because I forgot about the part with Brianna, because I had watched it a little bit ago, but especially I think I watched it in respect to Robin complaining that all she ever wanted was Meri to be a part of her kid's life, and then part of my retort was like Meri was trying to be a part of your kid's life, and you kept pushing Mary's ass out. So every time Meri tried to do something with your kids or ask you about your kids, you kept your kids away from Meri. And some of that could be what Peyton's allegation towards Meri was that, she was a little rough on the kids and Robin actually came in and saved them. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't
It's
know.
hard to say. Maybe one
Yeah.
day after the show ends, we'll find out all the juicy details.
Right. Or maybe this September when the book drop, Christine book drop. Maybe Christine go on scorched earth and she gonna tell all the secrets.
I
before it's too
hope,
late.
but I'm not thinking it's going to happen yet.
Yeah,
But I think it
yeah.
will eventually happen. I just hope I live long enough to
To see
to
it.
be able to read one of those.
You don't wait 19 more seasons for the truth to come
Yeah.
out. All
Okay, James. Well,
right.
I'm not going to ramble on anymore, but I do appreciate your time.
No, I appreciate you calling in, and thanks for the tip on the worthy up. I never considered that, but yeah, that's a good point. Excellent point.
Okay, well, you have a good night.
All right, you as well. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye. Great call. Yeah. See, I told you, I'm willing to listen. I'm learning a lot tonight. All right, we got Linda coming up.
Hey,
Linda, what's going
James.
on? How are
Hey, how
you?
you doing? Calling from New
Doing
York
very well.
City.
All
I just
right.
had to I had to take the opportunity to call because I was catching up on Sister Wives, even though I'm irritated with them, but it's like that train wreck. You got to keep watching.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
really I'm waiting for Cody to get a comeuppance. So one of the person that writes a lot is Without a Crystal Ball, Joy
Mhm.
something, Katie Joy. Homegirl got the paperwork, all the Coyote Pass paperwork, and she was showing it on one of her streams. Now they divided it up. It was like everyone is getting 25%. Kind of
Right.
irritated me because I thought it should be 33, 33, 33. Because Robin never put dime one in the family pot. So I was trying to figure out how the law, works in Arizona. Like, to me, they should have done some forensic accounting and maybe even looked at the fact that Christine sold her parcel for $10. I almost fell off my
Right.
sofa. So I'm just, I'm looking all at this inequity, and I know that we have a lot of people that were in polygamy and they're saying it's like that. But I don't know how tolerant Arizona is with this polygamy and how it's working out financially. It's like,
Mhm.
can't like an attorney general look at this? Can't the IRS even look at this? Because I know in Utah, they usually favor the wives. I think they would have gotten a better
Right.
deal if this was heard up in Utah. So I just had to put my 2 cents because I was irritated as all get out when I saw it. I mean, I was glad that Meri and Janelle are getting a little more,
Hmm.
but I wanted them to get a lot more because they,
Right.
especially Janelle, there's still the issue about the money she gave for the down payment on the McMansion, which they
Right.
sold and got a bigger one. So I'm hoping that comes through, and I'm just hoping when it's time for the child support, Christine gets hers in spades, and she should really sue for the medical bills for Isabel.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
just
Well, 'cause no, no, I feel you because I think a lot of it is like maybe that's part of the draw. It's like self-flagellation where you're like beating yourself, like because some of it just seems like it's self-induced torture because you watch it like why the hell would you do this? Like you know what I mean? Like I find myself asking that question all the time. Like you because even when Janelle said like oh I'm a smart woman and I put myself in a really bad situation, and part of me was like, yeah, this is what I've been saying. But part of my heart, like part of me, my heart broke for her because she's realizing the situation that she put herself in. And this is
yep,
what I've always said about the problem with polygamy as it's practiced currently, because you don't have protections. And I don't give a damn what these guys say when they sit there
no,
sweet talking you. It's like a teenage boy in the backseat of his daddy's car trying to talk to the prom queen. He gonna promise you all kinds of stuff. You know what I
correct.
mean? But when rubber meets road and then things get hard, all them promises don't mean anything. Because Cody made a lot of promises to these women. I never forget when they were in UNLV, they were having a debate. Christine was the one who said, "Well, Cody, he said he doesn't want anybody to be a prisoner. There are no prisoners here. He said if you leaving me and your being happiness is money, then I will pay you to leave and I will
I
buy you a house."
remember that.
Yeah,
Damn liar, liar, liar,
yeah,
liar.
right,
I,
right, and
and
none of that.
I saw that on a rerun, and I'm like, you lying thing. But I got a little problem with Janelle. My thing
Mhm.
with Janelle is, and when you go back and look in the beginning, she was a little, okay, let me not use too much Brooklyn slang, but she was like a little uppity. Like she felt like she was above the other wives. I got that impression. Like there
Mhm.
was an episode where I think Christine was sick or she couldn't take care of the kids. She made the biggest dumbass comment. Oh, I didn't know you had to brush their hair before they went to school. Girl, please. Please. What you mean you didn't know you had to brush their hair? So I just think she's really beholden to Christine because I don't remember them being so buddy buddy. But she owes
Mhm.
Christine because Christine raised her kids because she was like the businesswoman above it. Her
Right.
fault is she was digmatized and trying to be as
Mhm.
clean as possible.
I
And
got
I
you.
think she thought she had a separate relationship with him that was more physical and there was more the meeting of the minds and control. But I don't know what Robin got because she just totally got him all 18 senses. Whatever he got,
You're right.
she like drowned him in everything. And I think Janelle was like, oh, wait, this is what happened to me. I think when she ended up in the RV, she realized she didn't have the relationship with Cody that she did. They don't stand back and look because the whole premise of this polygamy thing is the more wives and the more children, the men get into heaven and then they take you with them. Uh-uh.
Right.
Be a little smarter. You worry about your ass going into heaven, not his.
Right. Right. Right.
It's
Yeah, because that's how the for those what she's talking about is that what Linda's talking about specifically is from my understanding in this faith when they deal with polygamy according to the principle, the more wives you have, you get elevated to a higher level of heaven or a higher level of the afterlife. So uh if you are, I think it's 3 wives, you get an elevated level. And then I
right.
think the next skip, if I'm not mistaken, is 7 wives. Like if he has 7 wives, then he would go
Oh,
to like the
yeah.
next level of heaven. But it's all about like you getting him basically into heaven, and he gives you a password, like what's that secret password where
Yes.
he gets into heaven, you go to my name is Elizabeth, and he can decide whether to let you in or not, like he's a bouncer at a club.
Can you
So
imagine that? Like how
yeah,
how
yeah,
how dumb can you be? How
yeah. I
dumb
don't
can
like
you
your
be?
shoes. You can't come in. What? And
That's
here's the
right.
thing, because now that I think about it, again, this is Revelation 19,
Revelation.
because I never thought about it, but from my understanding, if you're a polygamist or you're not a polygamist, if you're a polygamist, definitely answer. But if you are if you are familiar with the principle and how it works, I thought it was 3, and then the next number is 7. So you ask yourself, why was Cody so pressed about bringing Robin in? Was he always planning to get rid of Meri? And that would put him back at 3 because he has 3 with the OG3. He brings in Robin. That gives him an extra wife to get rid of. Because I didn't really see from that point on where Cody was in a big push to get an additional 3 more wives
Yeah,
to
I
reach
think
that
he got
7.
he got totally sprung with Robin. I don't know what
Mm,
ammo she came with, but I think his mistake was he didn't think these women were ever going to wake up because they were there 20
right,
plus almost 30 years. So he
right,
thought that he could play with them. It's like I don't know how any woman could tolerate a man that's got to be on speed all the time with that ADHD and no, he doesn't
right, right,
focus. But I think that's like, how he kind of hypnotized them, like, this is how I am, and these little moments of tenderness, but remember, they're not used to that one-on-one partner attention. So if
right.
there's 3 other wives and you're getting this beautiful date, and the way he plays it, I guess the feeling is supposed to last for a month or two.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I
Well,
think he never ever counted on them to wake up. I think I think Christine kind of like cut him at the pass, but when Meri got that release, that put him over the edge.
right, right. Yeah, well, you know what? Because you said like about my thing about the nights out, because he always pushes that, like, oh, I got to make sure I give them their special nights out. Here's my thing: if Cody is taking his wives out for, say, he takes a wife out, uh, you have 4 wives. Once a week, you rotate taking your wives out. So each week you're taking your wives out. The wives might go out once a month. Cody goes out 4 times a month.
Bingo.
And so, you know what I mean? Like, so Cody's getting fat. Like, he's sitting there, he's getting all the takeout food he want, all the
Yeah.
special restaurants, vacations. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm doing this for y'all. Oh, I'm suffering so much. These foods are so
Yes.
rich and delicious. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the unfairness. It's just the
Yeah.
rudimentary unfairness of polygamy that's
Yeah.
just annoying, you know. And not even
I-
talk about the money. Like, forget about
oh
it when you
my
put the money
God.
in it. Forget about it. Like, it's crazy. And
Had no
the way they do the
protection.
money is just unfair. Right. It's zero protection. And that's one of the
None.
things that, like, when they had Janelle talking about, oh, what I would like to see is for them to develop some type of protection for women who are involved in this. The problem that you have, or I'm legalizing it. The problem that you have is I don't know how you would go about crafting legislation that would fit all situations. Like,
Nah.
so since if you have a Robin type character as the first wife, and you have like maybe the OG3 after her, does she get everything? Or, when she tries to leave, does she get to come in? Or when Robin comes into the family, does she get to walk away with half a quarter of the house? Because a lot of these
Yeah.
people don't have 4 properties to be able to, okay, you just take a house and you can go. Are we selling the family home? Like Robin coming in from Wyoming or St. George. I think she was in St. George.
Yeah. I
Coming
think St. George.
in George, yeah, to Lehigh, and she moves into the family house and she wants to get a divorce. Does she get to make you guys sell your home that you've been living in with your family and your kids?
Yeah.
Because
You got the point. You hit the nail on the head. You can never legalize polygamy. Never.
right,
Because
right. It'd just be too hard to figure out.
everything you just said, there is not a solution for. You just
Mhm.
you just put it out there. There is no solution for it. And I just don't
Right.
understand, this mentality, like wake up, wake up, wake up. But I think the one that got shook at the most was Janelle, because she was
Mm.
supposed to be
No,
the
I agree.
the one with the college degree in business, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
She was the money person. Yeah. Like my grandmother
Yeah.
said, don't be so educated, you're stupid.
Yeah. Well, because
She
you know what? Story time. One of the
uh-oh.
when I was a kid, like my grandfather, right? He
Hmm.
was he was a legit businessman. Like he owned several businesses. He had stores, he had cleaners, and he used to get his suits made, shoes made. Like he was that guy. And one of the things that really struck me about my grandfather, he was walking around with a 6th grade education, right? Great, went to 6th grade, had to drop out to help the family, and he worked his way up. And I distinctly remember every holiday, Thanksgiving and Christmas, it would be me, my brother, my cousins. We would all be sitting there. Some of us were in college, and he would tell these riddles, right? And he would sit there and it'd be like math riddles, or it'd be like math equations, or like sentence riddles or whatever. He would tell us this stuff, and he'd ask the question, and we'd be guessing and getting it wrong the whole time. And he would just sit there and laugh his ass off. And at that
That's
moment,
right.
even from being a young person, I was like, these degrees and shit don't mean nothing. They don't mean nothing. Because
Nope.
he just came up and he applied it. And he was just a smart person. He didn't have to go to school. Well, I mean, I'm not putting school down, but I'm just saying, like, it
No,
doesn't
no, no.
make you
But
better or worse. It just doesn't make you smart. Having an
but
education
but
doesn't
those
make
are
you
the
smart.
challenges we face as minorities. Like my
Mhm.
family came from Puerto Rico. So, there was an epidemic of oh my God, tuberculosis, which is you can't barely find the information. So in Puerto Rico, they had money because you had a lot of land, you had farms, you had acreage, you have avocados and all kinds of fruits and vegetables which you would sell. So when they came here, it was a
Mhm.
language barrier. Some of my aunts and uncles knew English because, Puerto Rico is very big on education. You need a dang certificate to be a filing clerk, okay?
Mhm.
And it was the language barrier. So the opportunity wasn't as broad as it is now. So my grandmother's greatest grief is that her older children couldn't finish like high school and college. Like my dad had to be pulled out. My uncle, because her sister died, and she also, story time. Her sister died. She took her sister's 3 kids. She had 6 of her own. So the older ones had to be pulled out, like who, if you graduated high school or not, or you're going to go to college. But her youngest one, my Uncle Tony, God rest his soul, was her only college educated, white collar, child. Like he got to work in finance and in that. But my aunt, who had to drop out of 11th or 10th grade, owned a beauty parlor. From that beauty parlor, made a business, bought the building that was attached to it. And she was the one who taught us, like, you don't need all these degrees. You need to know the basics, the foundation. And one of the most important things is to save and know what business you're going into. Like my father decided that he was going to quit the bus company and open up a bar. So he kind of shadowed one of my grandmother's relatives that made it good here in the nightclub business. So it's the common sense, because I would always take classes and things, and she would tell me, Linda, don't be so smart, you're stupid. Always have your common sense. And that's what your uncle had. It's the common sense, which, but it's not putting education down. It's like, do not be a professional student.
Right. Well, and it's also understanding that when you get an education is a tool. It's not a solve. It's not a fix. It's a tool, and it can teach you how to research. It can teach you how to think. It can teach you, like, maybe give you guidance on like critical thinking and things of that nature. But what it can't give you is common damn sense, or what folks commonly refer to as street smart. So you have book smart and you have street smart. You have people who can walk into a room, and this is the weird thing about, like, I was watching 90 Day Fiancé Last Resort. A lot of the, like, the therapists they had up there, I don't doubt that they understand the scholastic nature of the practice that they're talking about. They went to school, they got the degrees, they got the paperwork, and they got the certificates. But I question the practicality of the information that they have and how many people they actually deal with who are dealing with these types of issues. Because there's some things where you present it and it just doesn't make sense. Like you guys, like, for instance, they were talking about, like, you need to have like sex and sexuality with this person. You need to sleep with your husband. Let's talk about some freaky deaky things. They don't need to talk about freaky deaky between the sheets stuff. They have fundamental foundational problems in their relationship. Forget all that. You know what I mean? That stuff is stuff that you guys hear about. Like, that's stuff that little kids talk about. As long as it's good in the bedroom, everything else is good. No.
Not when you're 30, 35, and no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, you got bills to pay, you got a mortgage, and you got kids. Like, you got to
That's
make
right.
it work other ways. So it's just those, like, that little understanding of how life works. And I think that comes with that's not something that you can teach in class. Like they say, you can't coach that.
No.
Like, it's uncoachable. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So that's my 2 cents. I just had to get that off my chest. At 33, I want to see that. I want to see that revisited 33%, but I might watch the rest of the season only because I want to see Cody fall. I'm not going to lie. I want to see him taken to the cleaners, because, it's just not only what he did to his wives, his children, and he wasn't there for his son who killed himself, because there was, proof out there that the other son said something's wrong and he didn't move. So he's dead to me. He's dead to me, but but we'll see how that unfolds. So thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for calling in. Appreciate you.
All right. You have a good night.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Awesome. Yeah, I think Linda brings up some great points. I see you, Betty. I see you. But I think Linda brings up some good points. Linda brings up some good points because, like, even with Janelle, she was even though she was the second wife, technically Janelle's role in the family, if we're going to be fair, was actually like the second husband, because Janelle took a lot of the roles, a lot of the financial responsibilities. So I could see a world where she might see herself as distinct and separate away from the other two wives, Meri and Christine, because they were acting more in the wife capacity, whereas Janelle was acting more in line with what would be considered an equal in that particular family, because she's making as much, if not more money than Cody, and paying the mortgage and the big bills. All right. But let's talk to Betty. Betty, what's going on? How you doing?
Hey, how are you, sweetheart?
Doing well. I saw you were in the chat a couple lives ago, but I got to tell you, people was asking about you. They was like, "Where's
Yeah, it's
Betty
just
at?"
been crazy. I had one of my dogs passed away.
Oh no.
I had to take her to the crematorium because she's with me.
Oh.
And then with all the tornadoes bouncing around this whole week, we're in Mississippi. That's where my kids are. Well, two of
Oh,
my.
okay.
So
Right.
that. And sorry if my dogs butt in. I'm sorry. They just been.
Yeah.
And this is
They want to play on the show too. What's up, fur babies?
hey. So this is my rescue that I got a month ago. That was terrified of everything. Her name's Sassy Mag. I'm fixing to get off her
Okay.
subject. But she went from being terrified to running the house. And then I have my poodle who is now just has to be my baby. So between everything, it's just been crazy.
Yeah. Your kids okay down in Mississippi?
Yeah, they're dealing with flooding because they're close to Memphis. They're in South Haven. You've been down Mississippi. You know what it's like.
Yeah.
So they're in South Haven, close to Memphis. So all the flooding all around them is also affecting them. And then in Senatobia, it's like, I think 30 miles, and F3 hit and took out Senatobia, which is like 30 miles from where my kids are.
Right. So
the airport's underwater. So even if I wanted to fly in right now, I can't fly in because the airport's underwater. It's been like making them check in constantly. It's like, where are you at? What are you doing? Where are you at? Getting your shelter. It's just nerve wracking because I'm like 14 hours from them. Because it's 12-hour drive, but I gotta stop and go to the potty.
You gotta do like that crazy lady, that astronaut years ago when she went down and tried to knock off her little lover boy. She wore the astronaut diapers. Remember that?
Oh God, yeah. No, I'm not. I know. I think I'm good. I'm not to that stage yet. Someday I might be wearing them diapers, but not right now. Right now, not gonna lie. Look, men's underwear is comfy. I just found that I sold a pair of my son's undies that I bought brand new. I said, "Oh, I like these boy shorts. They comfy." So my husband said, that is not. I said, "Well, I'm an old lady. I can get away with it. Somebody sees it, I can say I'm eccentric."
I'm living my life.
But
don't judge my life.
Girl, it's my life. If I want to drink and have a party, I'm gonna. And believe me, I have some margarita. I need to have a margarita Sunday.
Well, you have margarita every day. It's okay. I won't tell nobody.
I'll be like that cook sipping on the sherry. We put a little here and we put a little here.
Yeah. Who is that? The Cajun chef.
Yes.
Remember that dude? Yeah, Cajun chef. That dude.
Oh yeah.
For those who are not familiar, up here was WHYY. My man would be. Look, we're gonna put a little bit in the stew, little for the stew, little for the chef. Wow. And by the end of the show, this dude every time was fired up. Like he was fired up, Jack.
I need my own cooking show where I can do that and be like, okay, today we're making southern meatloaf. We're gonna have a little sip and
he put sherry in pork and beans. Like I saw this dude like lick up pork and beans.
He put sherry in everything. Like it'll burn off. It'll be all right.
Right. It'll just melt off. It just burn off that thing down. It'll be delicious. Little for the chef. Bow. Oh man, that dude was alcoholic. He had problems.
I don't cook with sherry. I do cook with wine on some things. When I'm making like a beef bourguignon, you gotta have that really nice wine. Now then I'm gonna sip on that sucker too, because you don't need much. It burns off, but it makes the broth so
right.
With them carrots and taters. Oh yes, girl. Put that with some peach cobbler. It's good. Sorry, I get up on cooking, and I go into recipes in my head.
Get excited about you.
I've been singing "This Land Is Mine." You brought that up, so that damn little worm got stuck in my head earlier. Trying to remember it all. It's been years. To the redwood forest. Now I can't remember the rest. I'm like, I'm gonna have to Google the lyrics.
There
But
you
what I was
go.
gonna say was, like, when we're talking about the Coyote Pass thing, there's
Mhm.
only so much, like, and I do believe that there are women who get sucked into that, and men, because we forget. Like, I mean, like, we're really, I forget. Let me say, not say we as a collective. I forget that it's really not been that long ago that women couldn't vote and
Right.
minorities couldn't vote, and interracial relationships were not only not
Illegal.
frowned on, but they were completely illegal, which would now
Right.
affect my family severely.
Mhm.
So, because I mean, we got the mix. We are the UN, but it's really not been that many years. When
Right.
I mean,
Right.
I know people who were young when integration. I mean, they're not young now, clearly, but like how it affected their lives, and we talk about it. It's like, I mean, it's just, I love to hear their stories. We don't listen to our elders like we should. Even
Right.
I have
Right.
elders, and it's like, you listen to their stories and what they've gone through, and the cruelty that came
Mhm.
from it was just that we would be absolutely horrified by now. But really, I mean, we see it was just common that people were scared to go against it. And it took a
Mhm.
lot of heroes to do it. So, like, when you look at Cody and then we look at Christine and all them, like, and I'm like, I get really, because it's like in this day and age, but then I forget,
Yeah.
even back when it was time, it took a lot of really strong people to give us rights
Mhm.
that we needed, that went against
Right.
the status quo, but there were so many so terrified to go against it. And it took years for all of them to finally find their courage.
Right. Right. Well, because I think that that's also part of the struggle for a lot of folks when they talk about sister wives and trying to understand what they went through and why they stuck around as long as they did and why they made the decisions they made, is that we sometimes we have to keep in mind that some of these communities, it's almost as though they were trapped in a time capsule, and
Yes.
their mindsets and the way that they view the world is a throwback to a time long gone, and a time that we just don't accept anymore. Like the things that they tolerate are things that we would never consider accepted, but they tolerate it because that's the way they were brought up, that's the way they were raised. And so I think that
Yeah.
that's part of the struggle too.
It is, and so, I mean, but we forget about it. But I also wonder if, like, they're gonna ever be able to talk about his cruelty, because I go back to, like, the scene where Christine was getting the ultrasound of
Mm,
Truly, and she was already 38 years old, and as they were walking out of the clinic, and Cody's like, "Yeah, after this one, maybe we can try again, maybe for," and she had literally just suffered a miscarriage before Truly. Now she's
right.
38 having Truly, high risk pregnancy, no concern. He's screwing Robin. We all know that.
Mm,
Pardon my language,
right.
Lord. But,
No, it is what it is. It is what it
you
is.
know, and now Christine's talking about it, but I do wonder if it's like the change in production, if she was pressured back in the day not to really talk about the taboo of
Hmm.
what she truly thought they were doing. She got mad and walked off a couple of times, but if she was being pressured or if she was forced into an NDA
Hmm.
where she could not discuss certain things,
Right.
about the family and
Right.
about how truly she felt. Because, I mean,
Right.
she's already made hints that she wondered what he was, was it really? I mean, come on, look at the picture. She's already made hints and innuendos, and she's
Right.
not scared anymore. But
Well,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
to be
I
honest with
wonder if
you,
that's her finding courage or if that's a change in production that is finally allowing her to speak.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think that
Yeah.
her ability to voice it on television is a change in production and a change in
Yeah.
situation. But I think that I don't think that like I was saying earlier, I don't think that us watching it and giving our opinions on the possibility that Cody was actually banging out Robin, I'm gonna put it that way, where he was actually going away for 5 hours to another
Like,
part
don't
of the
come
state,
knocking around
spending
my
the
back
weekend.
door.
Yeah, yeah, he was knocking twice.
Sun
But
down.
but the whole thing is that she was sitting there, like, if I'm sitting there with, and this again, this is a mainstream thing, but if I'm sitting there with my wife and she goes off with some man and she works with some dude, and then she come back to me and she sit on the edge of my bed and she crying about how she missed being with this person and how she what and I don't know what I'm gonna do. What is going on? You know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna sit there and think y'all just friends. Why are you crying? Did you gonna see him on Friday? You know what I mean? Because that's where Cody was. Like, you gonna see her ass on Friday. Like, you just got back to my house and you sitting here on my time and you crying about leaving this person. What are you doing? Like, there's no way that they didn't think that they was. She didn't think that they was knocking off. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be as PC as possible, but
we all know it. But and then the cruelty, knowing that she was also dealing with postpartum depression. She just had a baby, and you're sitting there bawling and squalling over this girl. You know her self-esteem took a hit, and she's dealing with having a baby. And for women, I mean, you are dealing with like the weight gain, and then you've got to get back into your regular clothes, and then you have the up down. And she was doing it all by herself. He's there one night, maybe two, to help with a baby that's going to have to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. Meanwhile, you have all these other children. The fuck you say? Oh, sorry, but that's how I feel. The fuck you say? By the time he started bawling and scrawling, I'd be handing him a suitcase and some Kleenex and say, bye. But then again, I was not raised in that. And she was completely raised in it as a child. And to be subservient to this man.
Right.
But once she started getting out and in the public and being able to really see, I think that's a lot of change for all of them. But once you see and you've been out there, by the time Truly's damn near a teenager and you still give that man money, you're stupid.
Right.
You didn't like her own.
Truly's 15 now, 15, 16.
Yeah.
Well, because even then, I would say this. I think that if you remember when she came out and said that she was thinking about leaving Cody in season 17, and she said she was scared to do it. I think part of that plays into where she was, because she was afraid that even where she was and the fan base and everybody else, she was still afraid to leave because she thought that would be the end, not only of the show and her time on the show and her participation in the family, but she thought she was going to be shunned. She thought the fan base was going to turn on her because she left her relationship. Even though if you paid attention at all, Christine, you'll realize that most of the fans were calling for you to leave his ass years ago. But yeah, she was still scared. You know what I mean? And I think that that's a residual part of the way she was brought up, that she was supposed to be subservient. She wasn't supposed to ask questions. If your husband wants to go off and spend time with another woman, it's not your place to ask him what he's doing, where he's going, or who he's spending time with. You know what I mean? That's just how they were raised.
It's that, and I'm sure it was fear of security. And I mean, I'd respect Robin more if she just came out and said, you know what? I have these kids. I do not have the financial means to take care of them. I found a sucker, and I'm going to latch on like a pacifier. Because I mean, my own mom did that. I could never understand her. She latched on, but she was in a 30-year relationship with a man. You could have said I lived in polygamy because he wanted, he was trying to act like our father because she met him when I was like 6, 7 years old. And they stayed together until she was 70 years old.
Right.
But he controlled her. He gave her a place to live. She still had to pay rent. Knocked off, of course, but he did control her. I mean, like he took her from being feminine to making sure she only wore men's flannel shirts, men's jeans, like not flattering at all.
Right.
And I never could understand it. I'm like, even when I pulled her out of it, put her in a nice house, got her Social Security, paid her rent, made sure she was taken care of. It wasn't even 3 months until she called me and said, well, I gave him control of my Social Security, but can you come take me to the bank to pay this? I'm like, no, I'm done. I had to walk away because it's like, no, I'm just so over it. But
right.
That's what I'm saying. And my mom only had she only had an 8th grade education. Coming from the hills of Tennessee, and she fell into it, and it did not matter what I did. I could not get her out of it. no matter
Right.
what. I even put her in adult education classes so that
Mhm.
maybe she could learn, and then, but it just never worked.
Right. Right. Well, because
You know?
you also have to keep in mind too that just in fairness, not necessarily saying this is her situation, but there are situations where women were groomed, young girls were groomed to believe, and this is one of the issues I have with the manosphere. Young girls were groomed at one point to, instead of seeking a profession or a career or their own happiness, they were groomed to find a husband, because in a husband you find safety, security, and financial security. Like, you'll find somebody basically who's supposed to take care of you. And even as like Lizzie B had pointed out earlier, I think was it 1974, which is an excellent point. Before
Yep.
1974, women weren't allowed to have their own bank accounts, which not only was it how you were raised, but there were sociological influences which reinforced that belief. Like, since you can't control money, you can't control your own destiny. It was a long time before women could have property in their name. So even if you
Oh
went out
yeah.
and you worked yourself to death and you bought a house or bought a piece of property, when you got married, that property belonged to your husband, or that property belonged to your dad or your brother, or somebody had to sign for your credit. Like, women couldn't get credit in their name. So
Yeah.
they were always forced to rely on a man. So when that happens, you get older, you get a social security check, you're supposed to sign your check over to your husband because he's supposed to take care of it for you. And
Yeah.
and
Thank
like you
God.
said, I think it's hard to break that. I think it's a hard thing to break.
Yeah. Well, she never could. I mean, like she finally did break it. It was like 5 years before she passed. But,
Mhm.
I finally got her to break that habit of, depending on him. And I mean, she even knew his wife. And I was so confused by that. Like, I'm like, how can you look at this woman and y'all are being friendly? He brought his kids to our house. We grew up together, going from
Right.
house to house. I mean, we rode mini bikes together at the time. I was a kid, and I'll never ride a
Yeah.
motorcycle again because of it. My dumb ass got on one side, pow, popped a wheelie and went clear across the parking lot. I gave it a little too much gas. No
Right.
helmet, no nothing. Of course, that was back in the 80s, so
Right.
we
Nobody
survived.
was wearing helmets in the 80s.
No,
What's wrong
my
with you
dumb
with
ass
a helmet?
thought I could ride a motorcycle till I got on that sucker and bam! Like, nope, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, you know what? In fairness, I ride bikes. I have a motorcycle.
I would love to learn
I,
how. But at my
yeah.
age, now I'd be like, push, pull, get it up there. Shit, I'd be
There's a
scared to
lot
ride a
going
bike now.
on.
It might be like this.
Yeah,
But,
but
I mean,
the thing with motorcycles, you don't really need a helmet until you come off of it. Then you're gonna miss it for sure.
then you're going to need one. That be my luck, though. Be like, there's the
Yeah.
building, and here's splat. Am I
Yeah, then
going to be
you're gonna miss the
splat one
helmet
or
for sure.
splat two? Because I did a lot of dumb shit. Of course, I mean, oh, pardon my language. Like, I mean, I'm not going to keep you warm for a second, but that's like, jumping off bridges or waterfalls.
Right.
Did that. I mean, I've done a lot of shit in my life that, I tell my kids, I'm like, don't do it. Because, I mean,
Right.
I did it 3 times, 40-foot drop, had fun, underwear goes up your hoo-ha. But the last time I went to go up, a man in front of me, badass, of course, hit every rock all the way down. I said, nope. I think I'll walk my happy ass right back down this mountain. Because it was a swing. You had to swing out and drop. And I'm talking about
Oh,
like a
okay.
4-foot. It's like one of those 4-foot rope swings.
Yeah.
And you got nothing but caves around and you got to drop. Because if you don't drop, you're going to hit that rock.
Right.
Now, I
Right.
got lucky 3 times and I was scared to do the 4th. Like, this would be like the lottery.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Like,
The
I'm from
angel
Mississippi. I
saved you.
still
That's what
want
it
to.
was.
But, now at my age, if I die, I'm okay. So I still want to go jump the New River Gorge
Right.
here in West Virginia. Because they have 1 week you can jump. You can bungee jump. You can skydive. You can do all that.
Oh, okay.
And they're supposed to have lessons because I really desperately want to do a windsuit.
Oh,
And
shit.
even if I
Okay.
splat my ass, yeah, I'll die. I'm happy. I'll be like, oh, it's like
Yeah.
squirrel.
Well, I tell you what, the one upside to a windsuit, if you do hit something, you won't realize you hit it because you're going so fast.
Yeah, but oh my
You-
God, I want to do it so bad.
yeah, you
I
don't
mean,
know
I have
you're
a
going
bucket
until
list
you're going.
because I want to do the windsuit and I want to go up in a bomber and do all the flips and whirls and turns. Like, I still got a lot I want to do.
There you go. There you go. Now you ain't got nothing to lose. You're awesome. You'll be good to go.
Hell yeah. Look, that's what I tell my kids. And if I die, put my ashes in a Bud Light bottle and have a party.
Right.
Like, I do not want preaching. I do not want sorrow. I want stories and laughter and love, because that's what I've given them. Lots of love, lots of laughter. Get out of there. Sorry, my dog's burying herself in the toy box. Well, I won't keep you because I tend to get long-winded, girl.
No,
but I love you. I miss y'all. Stay healthy, stay strong.
Awesome.
Right, bye,
awesome.
baby.
Thank you for joining. Appreciate you.
Oh, I love y'all. Bye, sweetheart.
Love you back. Take it easy.
You too, baby.
Awesomeness. Got Betty up in the house. Yeah, I will say this, but the one thing, then I'll bring up Sharon. The one thing I will say that I tell my kids all the time, when I was a young man, I was very reckless with my body. And now, and I've said this before on the live, when you're reckless with your body when you're young, that's not a bill that you pay right away. That's like a credit card that just acquires interest over time. And when you start to get older, that's when you start to pay that bill off. You know what I mean? I'm starting to pay them, like all them, like she said, she jumped off of stuff. Like I remember being down south, we used to jump in the quarries, jump off of bridges. Your bike, like I jumped my bike off everything that wasn't nailed down. Dirt hills, dirt mounds, off a car, set up ramps, all kinds of stuff. Did all kinds of stupid shit. And my body is a wreck. But yeah, take care of yourselves, especially them knees. Because you don't want them knees to leave you before you do. You know what I mean? But coming up to the stage, we got Sharon in the house. Sharon, what's going on?
Good morning. Good evening, Brother James. How are you?
Doing very well. Well,
I wanted to tell you regretfully the other day, I only caught a portion of your thing about if you were the host of the talkbacks or, at the ends of the shows and everything. And I thought, I would love to hear from Robin if I thought for a minute she'd tell the truth, how she felt about Cody not going to Isabel's surgery.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how would you feel if that was Aurora or Brianna?
Right.
I bet Heifer be all in.
It'd have been a fit. She'd had a fit. She had a connection. Yeah, but the funny part about it, I can totally see. I can totally see. Lizzie B. My knees be cracking every time I move. I need an oil can. Yeah, I feel like the 10-man too, Lizzie. But I can see a scenario.
James, I'm right there with you. I think I've ate too much Rice Krispies when I was a kid because all I do now is snap, crackle, and pop.
Right. Every morning I wake up and I do the inventory. You kidding me? Like what's working, what's not, and what can I just cruise through today? But I can see Robin doing the whole. Well, if Cody were to come to me and the kids were going through this kind of surgery or whatever, I would just sit there and I would talk to him and I would insist that he go on the surgery because I would take no for an answer. I would just talk to him because that's basically what she said when the wives were talking about leaving. Oh, I don't let him leave me and be mad. We gonna sit and talk about it. Like she had some control because she didn't realize that she actually was in a different position than everybody else. You can sit there and argue with him because he's wanting to listen to you.
Yeah, well, it just proves to me that she was lying all along, kind of thing, or that this is the way she wanted it, was that she wanted to be and she may have just wanted to be the head wife, so to speak, kind of thing and stuff, and not wanted all them to leave. But that's what she's worked her way to. I mean, if she had his ear that much, why didn't she say, no, you got to go with Isabel? There's no, dude, you went with Solomon with his ears. You even went with Dayton whenever he had the surgery on his eyelid. Right. You even went with Aurora to get holes pierced in her ears. And you didn't go with your daughter on a major back surgery? Yeah, you need to talk to somebody that believes that crap, because it ain't me, I can tell you that.
Yeah. And that was the thing that Cody and them will never get past is that there's been too many scenarios and situations where they've had heartbreaking events that happen in their absence. Like things happen in the family, and as much as they talk about family, and especially Cody, when he sits around and talks about like, well, I have to consider the big picture. I have to look at the big picture. And how do you look at the big picture when you aren't looking at the people who are involved with making that picture up? You understand what I mean? Like you aren't concerned
Oh,
about like
absolutely.
Gabe or Isabel or Garrison or Hunter or the things that they have going on because they're part of your picture too. It's not just, oh, well, Robin sacrificed a lot to be in the family. So therefore, anything that she wants, we have to be nice and considerate of her because when she came into the family, she was really nice. What does that even mean? That was 15 years ago. What are we doing? You know?
I think anybody that would ask you to step away from your kids or have any part in you stepping away from your kids, no, I ain't got nothing for you. I'm just gonna tell you now. I mean, he didn't help pay for Leon's college or any of that kind of stuff. He didn't help with that when she needed help moving from Chicago because to get out of the COVID stuff, he wasn't nowhere about wanting to do that. Now, yeah, he went to go be at the hospital just a little bit. Now, I realize we didn't see the whole time she was in the hospital, but you look how many times you saw him at home versus him not being in the scene because he was gone to the hospital. Yeah,
Right.
I'm by the kid's bedside, and Robin said it herself. She would say, when these ladies do something kind for one of my kids, it goes the other way, sister. It goes the other way too. When somebody does something negative towards my kids, yeah, I'm done. Wrap it up, zip it up, send it on its way because I'm done. ain't
Right.
happening, And he's done that with all the kids. And I don't know, I heard somebody say something about he had been in North Carolina and wondered if Maddie had seen him or if he had been to Maddie's and stuff. Yeah, I don't think Maddie's the one.
Right.
She's not a Gen X, but she could go there fast when it comes to her babies. I bet you money.
Yeah, because you know what, I give a lot of credit to Carmel Cuties because she said something a while ago that I've been saying since I started the channel. Like basically, a lot of the things that Robin sits there and watches Cody do to his kids should be a deal breaker for her. Like, so if
100%.
if you're with a man and he won't go see his kids, and he don't want to spend time with his kids, he ain't have time for his kids, when they go through surgeries or life-changing events, he doesn't find the need or desire to be there because he's too busy up your behind, then you need to take a hard look at that man you with. Because what's their problem today will be your problem tomorrow. Just out of common sense.
Yeah, it's just I know women that have gotten together with married men and then they left that woman and got with her kind of thing, stay with her for a little while, and then they moved on to the next. If he'll do it to you, or if he'll do it with you, he'll do it to you.
Do it to you. Damn right. That's what I say too. I say that too. If he'll cheat with you, cheat on you. And if he'll lie with you, he'll lie to you. You know.
Exactly. If he'll cheat with you, he'll
Don't get
cheat
it
on
twisted.
you.
You ain't special.
Yeah. No. Because you just one in the line. That's all it is. Well, I just, and like I say, if you turn on your kid, dude, you not only didn't go with Isabel to surgery, but from everything we're hearing, he didn't even show up when Garrison died as far as coming to the house, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, come on now. Yeah, now, your religion can believe whatever it wants to, but they ain't nothing right about none of that.
Right.
None
Well,
of it.
because you know what? And even with the whole Big G's thing, like I could see a scenario where maybe if something happened, you might not want to go to the place where they pass. It'd just be too much for you. I get that. But at the same time, the one complication I have with the issue is that Gabe was there. And if your son found your other son, this one son passed, and there's not a whole lot you can do for him by showing up there. And I get that. But the one son that's alive and that found him, he needs his father. And so for that,
see, in my
you
mind
should
too.
have made the effort.
Oh, absolutely. Because see, in my mind, like not being there for Maddie's daughter having her leg amputated. Now, the little girl, it might not have meant nothing to her because she was just one and she may not remember it, but Maddie would have remembered her daddy being there to hold her hand. Maddie would have
Right.
remembered her daddy being there to hug her when she's watching her baby go in and she couldn't go with her. And
Right.
I'm just going to say it, James. I lost a child almost 22 years ago.
Mm.
And I can tell you
Hello? Oh, you cut
breathe.
out.
Even now.
Oh, you cut out. You cut out. You said you lost a child and then cut off.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So whether you want to or not, you eat it, sleep it, and breathe it all the time,
Mm.
and you never get over it. I carry it with me today, and if I get upset when I start talking about it, I cry just as hard as I did the day she died. But I can tell you this: when I woke up the morning after she died, my first call was to find out where's she at.
Right.
Where's
Right.
she at? Where's her body? Where is my child? Where is she? Because I needed to know. It's just something you needed to know. And like I say, supporting them. Gabe would have needed that support. The way it sounded, and Janelle couldn't be there because she was, in North Carolina or wherever she was at the time. He needed that somebody there to be with him. So, when you can step away and see, and I ain't so sure of some of that doing that stuff to his kids and not being there for them or not being there for the moms kind of thing wasn't his way of trying to get rid of them all the way back in Las Vegas.
Right. Right.
Because when it's supposed to say that was like that was the straw that broke the camel's back for Christine.
Right.
You
Well, I mean,
know,
it would have broke anybody's back though. I ain't gonna lie. That's a heavy burden to carry. Like the fact that, and the fact that not only did he not go to your daughter's thing, but then he turns around and goes to a wedding and he officiates the wedding. And he
yeah,
tells you that your daughter got to sit there. Not only did he tell you that you got to go, let your daughter go by herself, and then he refuses to go with her. But
right.
then he turns around and he tells her that he tells her she don't have to go because she ain't in that much pain. But then you have to go to a wedding and you have to be around all these people and you have to officiate this wedding where not only there wasn't a mask in sight, there wasn't any social
Mm-hmm.
distancing, and all the things that you said you were so scared of. Apparently, when you went to this wedding, you had passed all the fear. You was way past the fear at that point because it was something you wanted to do, and that's all it came down to.
Yeah,
You
he
know,
could see
you
he could
just
see
felt
the
certain
light,
things you wanna
James.
do
It was okay to stick his head out.
it. Mhm. Yeah. Oh, what
Yeah.
is fun? They gonna have booze? Oh, I'm going. My friend getting married, barbecue. You say? Oh, I'm there. But he wasn't trying to go do the hard things, which is part of being a parent. Because being a parent, you know, it's not the birthday parties and the celebrations and stuff, and the graduations. It's the hard part. That's what makes being a parent the job. That's the job. It's the
Oh,
hard part.
absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely. I mean, the funny and the good and the cute and the sweet and all good. It's being there through the hard parts.
Hmm.
That's the biggest part of it. And you can't just pick and choose. I mean,
Yeah.
certainly you just can't pick and choose. But I would love to see you get to be the host because I just think it would be hilarious because there would be some atonement for sure.
Right. It would be different. It would
Well,
definitely be
and I mean,
it
just the
would
way he's
definitely be
talked to
different.
some of the hosts over the years. I mean, what is
Mhm.
it? The last three times he was up there, he's gotten a little hateful with her.
Right. Right.
Take it back. I didn't abandon them, and I'm like, I don't know what your
No,
different
I
definition of
said what I
abandonment
said.
is, but
Yeah. Like I ought to call for a dictionary. Let's get a dictionary out so we all know what we talk about.
bring Webster
Yeah.
in here. Bring him on.
Right,
Bring Webster
exactly.
on in here. Bring him on in here.
Right. And explain to me how I misused the word. I mean,
Right,
you
right.
weren't
And
going
when
around, you weren't seeing her. You might not have been happy with her, but you weren't going by. So what are we gonna call it?
yeah. Oh, I just wasn't going by. Well,
Yeah, abandoned. Yeah.
exactly. And then
Check.
what was it? Let's see. The time after that was when he was in the gray suit, and he was like he was pretending like he'd been trying to get back, was going to try to get back with Meri, and then was blaming it
Yeah.
on Christine, and then he sort of lunged at her, kind of thing. And I'm like, and then didn't want to talk at her, looked at his watch like he didn't have time to talk to her and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because
excuse
she
me,
asked
cuz
about Robin.
you got somewhere to be. Is Robin waiting on you? What? I
Right,
mean, what?
right,
And then the advertisement for the next one is that I am sick and tired of everybody blaming me for loving Robin. Well, dude, who else we gonna blame? I
right.
mean, you
Well,
signed up for this and brought her into all this.
Well, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think anybody the fake outrage is what kind of ticks me off a little bit. Nobody is mad at you saying you love Robin the whole time. The reason why the audience is pissed off is because we've been saying you love Robin for the last 19 seasons, and the whole time you've been telling us we crazy and we stupid and we don't know what we talking about, and you tired of us always trying to tell you that you love Robin and Robin's the only one you love and want to be with. Now you want to sit up here and change the game and sit up and talk about how why everybody mad because you love Robin. We know that you love Robin. You the one that denied it. You the one told us that we crazy. We always said you was treating her better than you was treating all the other wives because you cared more about her. So why we, you know what I mean? That's the part that gets you.
Well, so just own it. Just own it. But see, I don't think him and Robin can, because the fact is if they own it, the show is the end. You know what I mean? It's like those typical, it's like those typical shows we watch, and saying, you saying, oh man, these two characters need to get together. They need to get together. They need to get together. And the minute they do, bam, show's over. Because there's nothing to keep people dragged in. And I've listened to Sarah's YouTube video this afternoon with the reality squad. She was talking about how these women have worked on things and have got things on the side and got businesses and got stuff that they're doing and stuff. But Robin and Cody ain't got nothing but the show.
Right.
See, I think that's why they bought the big house, because they better keep them kids all up in that house and keep them working and get husbands or get, spouses and get them in that house and keep them in there so they can support them, because once the show's over, Cody and Robin's done.
Right.
I mean, they're going to be all out of everything.
Yeah,
it's
going to get rough for
selling
some
some dolls.
Yeah, dolls amongst other things. Cody going to be selling little hair ringlets, on eBay.
Yeah, some ramen noodles or something.
yeah. You can have a piece of a star,
Well, and then I guess that's part of it. I wonder, you notice there's never been a male host.
Right. Well, because I had heard, like somebody had said before, that part of the reason they don't do a male host is because Cody doesn't want his wives talking to men. So
why does he care now? Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? But
Robin is such a delectable treat that he can't bear the fact that a man might sit there and ask her some serious questions.
I know his shy, pretty wife.
Yeah, it's shy, pretty wife. My pretty shy wife who's pretty and shy. Like, come on, man, stop that. Stop that. Are you forgetting the women that you made babies with? What are you trying to say?
Yeah, I know.
And that's the thing too. Like, because I hate that part of it. If these women were so repulsive, why you push 12 kids through them, 13 children through them?
Exactly.
If you couldn't bear, oh my God, they're so ugly, they're so heinous. Why were you laying down with them at least 13 times you made children with these folks?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm repulsed by somebody, last thing I do is make children. I don't try to reproduce with them if they're so disgusting. So
yeah, it is, it's just backlash. He's taking the backlash for it, and he just wants any excuse he can come up with.
Right.
I mean, it's just, to me, it's just that simple kind of thing. But I've always felt like that Robin was like, and you see parents like this. I mean, we don't always agree or whatever, a mom and a dad are not, or any parents, in any parental situations, are not always going to agree on how to this and how to that, but we need to be a united front. I mean, for instance, in my house, if you play mama against daddy, now that gets you whooped in my house. No, if I tell you no, the answer is no. Don't go ask him. And if he tells you no, you better not come ask me.
Right.
Because we are together on this kind of thing. But I've always felt like with those situations that Robin was in that situation, she would be the parent that would give in and give you your way. And that makes the kid want to go back to him and go back to him and go back to him. Well, all that creates is an unruly child. So if that's what she's ended up with, she ain't got nobody to blame but herself.
Right. Yeah, because if they think they can get around the rules,
Yeah, I mean, they were telling him no. They would say, look, you need to look at it from a different point of view, or, you're not meeting my needs, or as Christine liked to say, he sucked at validating, and he did. He sucked at validating, especially her. He couldn't give her, I'm sorry, this is what's going on, or anything like that. He even said that one time when he went, right after she left, and the guy, his friends, his brother, I think it was his friend, two of his friends and his brother, kind of thing and stuff, and they were talking about it, and he said he wished he'd have went back and told her, I'm sorry, this is the way it is, or whatever. But I don't think he ever would have done it.
No.
I don't think he ever would have done it. I don't think he thinks he does anything wrong.
Yeah. Well, because it's hard to be the hero of the story, because heroes don't make mistakes.
Yeah, I don't think Cody can spell hero. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Well, listen, James, I'll let you go and let somebody get to talk for a minute, but you have a good night.
All right, thank you. You have a great night. Appreciate the call.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Awesomeness. Yeah, we got Yo V, but looks like they dropped out. But yeah, guys, you know what? When it comes to a lot of the here we go. Yo V, what's going on?
Hey, can you hear me? I apologize.
Yes. No worries. Uh-oh. Oh, just dropped out again. Hit me back and I'll bring you up. There we go.
Okay.
Hello.
I don't know. This is my first time doing this. James, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Like you say, story time. I have conspiracy time.
Okay.
I have a
I
theory.
like conspiracies.
Okay, so I admit I'm a Catfish Sister Wives fan. I didn't come on until around that time.
Okay.
But I was listening to Sarah's channel the other day, and she had just made a comment about apparently McKelty had said that Robin had dangled some other suitor before Cody got in. She made sure to dangle this older man, and he had this and he had that. We
Right.
know that they started off, the Brown family, they didn't start off well off. It's obvious that the show kind of put money in all of their pockets. So I'm wondering, what did Cody dangle? And I'm wondering if he somehow got himself and her a better contract deal than the rest of them. And I'm curious to know, because I've heard, I only know from reality, like Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's kind of hush hush. The star gets the bigger check, and maybe the new housewife gets a little less check. And I'm curious, or it just got me thinking, have the Browns been like that? Now, obviously, their family fund. I think if their payroll just dumped all into their family account, then it would be easier to keep them all honest. But yeah, I'm just wondering, like at my own job, my check goes to different places.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I could tell my I could tell my husband that amount that he sees deposited into one account, that's my whole check, not knowing, I've got myself a little slice of pie going over here to this side account. So
Right.
I'm wondering, what did he win Robin over with? Because it wasn't love. We all know that Robin, like I heard an earlier person talk about, we know that Robin is the woman who said, "Hey, I'm taking care of me and my needs. That's all I care about. Me and my
Right.
kids. I'm struggling. That's all that's exactly what Robin did." So what other negotiating tactic would Cody have had to win Robin over if she legitimately had a better suitor before him that she dangled in front? Or do you think even that was a scam?
Well, I don't know if I know there were probably people in the church who were interested in her, because small community, outside people coming in, they get attention. But I think that the people that she would have had interested in her would have had a very difficult time to compete with the prospect that she would be famous. I mean, even if they were a little better,
Okay.
well-heeled. But
Okay.
I do agree with that being said, I can see a scenario where you are able to siphon off certain amounts of money. The only complication Cody would have is when his W-2s hit the door, because Janelle did the taxes. But other than that, like, he could definitely siphon money off to like to a different account. Like he could definitely do that.
Yeah,
Like you have
yeah,
money coming in and you say, I want part of my check. Like if all the wives made $40,000,
right,
you say, yeah, I made 40,000 too. But you take
right,
your other 20 and have it sent to Wells Fargo, Capital One or whatever.
right,
You
right.
could definitely do that. And they wouldn't tell. Like, I mean, to be honest with you, even at your job, like most people, if you work a job right now, you think you have an idea how much your coworkers are making based off of what you make, but realistically, you
You
have no
exactly,
idea what they make unless they
exactly,
tell you.
exactly,
Yeah, I agree with that.
exactly. And so I'm just saying, let's keep it real. Because Robin is a gold digger, I feel like she's had a better piece of the pie the whole time, not just now.
Mm,
I think he either promised her or he made it seem or something. I wish, because we're just over here theorizing. I wish there
yeah,
was some person that could get copies of old contracts or something. I'm willing to bet Robin is not on the same deal that the other wives were on.
right, right.
That's
Well,
just
because
my
I've
theory.
always No, well, I mean, in line with your theory, though, I've always kind of speculated that when the show first started, they started this show. Robin and Cody was, and I say this based on the fact that if you look at the show through the lens of production, when they did this show, Robin and Cody were supposed to be the stars of this show. I think that that's how they planned it. I think that that's how production had put it out. But
Right.
unfortunately for, whoever did it did a tremendous miscalculation because they thought that the woman who was coming in basically stealing or usurping a husband away from his established wives was going to be the hero of the story. Was like a crazy mistake because the fan base was clearly going to identify more with your target fan base was going to identify more with the first wife's club than they would with the mistress who comes in and steals the husband. It's just,
No,
but
I hear
if
you.
you watch it,
Absolutely.
that's how because even Cody, the way he presented himself, the way Robin came in, I think the OG3 were supposed to be not necessarily the antagonists, but they were supposed to represent the struggle and conflict of not accepting Robin coming into the family. So when Robin comes into the family and she tells the story, when I first came into the family, nobody accepted me and they didn't accept my kids. I think that's a throwback of the old storyline that they were originally supposed to roll out.
Okay. Okay.
you know, and
Fair,
that would have
fair.
and yeah, and that would have given them, because let's be honest, if TLC would have came to Cody and Robin and said, you know what, those other three women, they kind of dead weight. You guys, if this is the Jackson Five, Cody, Robin, you guys are Michael Jackson. The rest of them,
Exactly.
Tito. We
Exactly.
need to, and they would have got dropped. What I mean? Cody and Robin would
Absolutely.
have skipped on into the sunset, and they'd have took that TLC check with them. But the problem they had, and this is actually an interesting point too, if you really think about it, if they wanted to do it, they couldn't do it because the other wives were way more popular than either Cody or Robin. And so now they're in a situation where even if Cody, like you listen to Cody with like Sharon said, oh, I love Robin. I'm tired of people asking me about Robin because she's the only one I ever loved. If he would have had that same attitude season one, then we would be watching the OG3 show and not the Sister Wives show. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like they
Yes.
would have dropped them, and then the OG3 would have got their own show, Surviving Polygamy, and Cody and Robin would have been out the door. They would have been done. They might have got like maybe a spinoff special where
Right.
you would have saw them struggling in a 1-bedroom apartment, Cody getting cussed out, and Robin sitting on the kitchen floor talking about she don't understand what's going on or what she always wanted to be a polygamist.
Right.
But yeah, it would have been a different show. It would have totally been a different show. I
I,
don't know. You
I,
might
I
be
I agree
on
with
something.
that. I agree with that. I agree with that. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking about that initial deal. You know what I'm saying? What he thought he could, like I saw somebody in the comments say, he just promised her bills would be paid. I'm just thinking
Mm.
about that initial, what was he comes across to me as like a car salesman, that oily, slimy, that
Yeah.
that stereotypical grift. I'm not saying actual car sellers are that way, but
No,
yes, he
I get
comes
you.
across that way to me, and I see him pitching some car salesman type deal to her that must have been gold. It must have been shiny gold. And I don't
Right.
think it was just the premise of the show. I think I think Robin's a smart girl. I think she would have got something in writing, like she made sure that she's his legal wife as well.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I think Robin is I think she's the omega of gold diggers. I think she's in first place. She's smart. We don't like
Right.
her, and that's what I love about her is that she makes such a good villain. She
Yeah.
makes
Well,
such a
she's
good
like
villain.
the final form, the gold digger final
Yes,
form. Yeah.
that's yes, the omega. She's the last
Yeah.
boss. She's the last
Exactly.
boss.
She boss level. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes. But that's all. I just wanted to run my conspiracy theory by you, James. I
No,
enjoy
I
your show.
appreciate you calling in. I'm having a good time because I'm looking at things a little different tonight. So I appreciate it.
I'm glad the fans are bringing you because you always bring us great theories.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys are contributing back. You guys kicking in. Kicking in, I tell you.
Good night.
But you have a good night. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Ooh, I didn't think about that, but she might be on to something. I wish I know it will never happen. I know we'll never see the contracts, but I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind seeing them contracts. Where's the money going? Who's getting what? How much y'all getting paid? Who's getting paid what? Wouldn't it be something if she was right? And this whole time, Robin has been making more money than everybody else, which would be even more of an insult because, like I said, if you really look at the show, Robin and Cody haven't really contributed to the storyline, but to be day players in somebody else's story. So Christine, Janelle, or one of the other wives will be going through things, and Robin and Cody will just be there to comment on it. And to have them being paid more than everybody else, woo, that would be crazy. But we're gonna bring Carmel Cuties up. What's going on? How you doing?
Hey James, I'm good. How are you?
Doing excellent.
Oh, I had a whole nother point I was gonna mention, but that last conversation really has me sitting here thinking. Little ticks off my iPad ain't charged because I was wondering if I was to hit Google real quick. I don't really know about entertainment contracts, but it's got me thinking because if Janelle had access to the quote unquote family account and she took all the documentations needed to the accountant or the CPA for the taxes, she would know the amount that was deposited into the family account. Now, what I do know is it's one check issued to the family, and that's why they have to go it in like an LLC, and they didn't issue it just in Cody Brown's name when
Mm,
it comes to like these family shows on TLC. I know the Goslings had to do it, the Duggars had to do it, so forth and so on. So even if the theory or the idea is that Robin and or Cody made more money than the otherwise, I'm sure it would have been told and said long before now. Because if Janelle's
mm,
seeing the numbers and she's seeing how much is going into each, that account specifically, whether Cody, try to hit some stuff, the check gonna post on the 13th, midnight that night, he's trying to issue funds over to another account that maybe Janelle doesn't have access to, but she sees the numbers. It's not hard to whip
right.
out a calculator and say there's 5 adults, but it's $100,000 that just was divided, deposited. Let's divide that up to see exactly the amount that everybody gets. And then, too, they also took a pay cut when they
Right.
were going to
Yeah,
cancel the
season
show.
12. Yeah,
Right.
season
So
12.
I'm sure Robin wouldn't have been happy knowing that the
Yeah,
money she was gonna get ain't coming in no more because they took a pay cut just to keep the show going. So
right.
I don't know. I think I'm leaning on the fence of it may be true, it may not be true. I mean, we already know he spent more money on Robin overall. I
Mm,
think Religion to Reality had spoken about one of her videos when they were redoing one room in each of the homes when they got to Vegas. And it was a point she made that made like the light bulb in my head went off. Like, why didn't I think of this when I first saw the show? Which was when they moved from Lehigh, Robin moved her whole house. So unless she just decided she was going to throw out whatever, it's old, I don't want it no more, or I can let that couch go, or I don't need that table. Robin took everything out of her rental and loaded it
Right.
into the truck that went to Vegas. Whereas the other wives pretty much could only pack beds, clothes, and what was essential for the move. Now, yeah, they did
Mm,
go back later and had the chance to collect whatever it is they needed to collect then. But coming to Vegas, they were sleeping on mattresses on the floor. They were making pallets for their kids, whatever it is that they could do just to get into these new homes and just be comfortable for the moment. But when
right.
they went to the consignment store and in the art of fairness, quote unquote, Robin still got a room that she got to redo just as well as Meri, Janelle, and Christine. But fast forward, when she got pregnant with Saul months later, she got yet another room redone, which was
Right.
the nursery for Saul. So in
Mm,
essence, when y'all pinching pennies, because at this point, don't nobody got a job. There's not much money coming in outside of the show, but Robin's over here getting two bedrooms or essentially two rooms in her house completely redone when not even a year before Christine just had a whole baby and she didn't even get that much when they were they weren't well off. They were comfortable in the Lehigh house when it comes to their bills got pinched off here and there, and like Janelle said, if there was a certain need, they all rallied together to get that need for whoever it was, and then the next time around it went to the next person. So
right.
I'm sure Christine had that crib tucked away somewhere because most likely it probably was either Savannah's old crib or Isabel or Gwen's old crib that she pulled out, cleaned off, put together, and stuck it in her room. She didn't get a
Mm,
whole bunch of new things when it came to Truly, but yet here comes Robin getting all brand new things for Solomon. And I know Christine pointed out the favoritism from shoot, she was still pregnant. He's riding up and down the freeway. But the
right.
favoritism when it comes to the financial portion, it's crazy to me how, yeah, she came in and pimped out the whole family for the most part.
Yeah, well, because if you think about like with regard to how they did the finances, how they did the cribs and all that, even how Robin was able to finagle a new room, she would be able to use her money, and then kind of what's revealed later on, it wasn't just Robin, like whereas Christine had her money, Janelle
Hmm.
had her money, Meri had her money, Robin was working with her money and Cody's money.
Hmm.
So so that's how she was able to afford a lot more than Christine was able to afford. So even though they had the similar amounts of kids and similar responsibilities, at the end of the day, it really helps when you have two incomes versus one income. So you just
Right.
have more access to more, you know. And that's the weird part where she says, I was just better with money. No, you were just your husband added more money to the pot. So it wasn't that you were figuring out a better way to deal with your debts and expenses. It's just that you had more money available to you. So, it's
I
like,
see one of the comments is saying how would that look if all the wives got a new room and Robin didn't? It would look like Robin didn't need a new room. I mean, in all honesty, she didn't. Let's just keep it real. Let's call a spade a spade. She didn't need a new
mm,
room. She got a new room simply because Cody claimed he was trying to be fair amongst all the wives. But in that moment when, like Janelle said, their finances were scarce. She was already mad that Meri was getting a bigger house that wasn't needed when Meri could have took a smaller home and whatever else. At the end of the day, Robin didn't need a lot of things that Robin got, but Robin could never step up and be woman enough to say like, "Hey, you know what, Cody? I don't really need it. Let it go over here or let it go over there." Whereas I'm sure
right,
there were times some of the other wives had to take a back seat to things that they needed in their homes to provide for Robin. Hell, Janelle risked her whole 401k to the point where now when she should be looking at retirement and feeling okay in life, she not. Because why? Robin got that money to pay off debt that she didn't allocate her own funds from the show throughout at least the first 4 seasons to pay off because it wasn't a priority
Right.
for her. I can
Right.
understand wanting to be fair amongst the adults, but when it's also taken out of the mouths of kids, that's when I tend to. I'm always going to rally for the children. Don't get me wrong, but that's where I feel like I have a problem when it comes to it, because at
Right.
the end of the day, Robin could have took Christine's old crib. Robin could have took less of a room and been like, well, I only need nightstands, so let me just get some nightstands for me and Cody versus getting a whole new bedroom set. With some of these wives didn't even have a bed because their bed broke in the move. Like at the end of the
Right.
day, Robin came in with a gimme, gimme, gimme attitude. Whatever I could take, whatever secures my kids, wherever my everybody else had to conform for Robin to fit into the Brown family, but I don't ever see where Robin conformed to fit in with them.
Right. Right.
Instantly
Well, because
got a
I think
nanny, didn't let Christine babysit the kids, or hell, at that point, she didn't even let none of the other wives mother her children.
right. Well, because I think that there's also the point that when we start talking about family finances, I think that there is a realization that same is not equal. Like bottom
Hmm.
line. So just because, like, oh, how would it look if three of the wives went out and got new furniture and Robin didn't get new furniture? Well, you have to ask yourself, how old is Robin's furniture? Just because three of the wives, if Robin has new furniture, because we have to keep in mind that Robin, for one, a lot of her furniture would have been new-ish. Maybe it was new to her. Maybe it wasn't brand new, wasn't out of the store or whatever. We don't know. But Robin had moved from her husband's house to a new house. That's new
Hmm.
furniture. That when she
Hmm.
moved from St. George out to Lehigh, she brought her whole house with her. So she had
Hmm.
access to her furniture. And even in, like you said, when she was given the furniture for the new bedroom, she went out and got a new room for Solomon. Why didn't Christine share Truly's bed? Because Truly is only 1 year older, not even a year older than Solomon. Her and
Hmm.
Solomon are very close in age. So because she was what, pregnant? I think maybe a year old.
They're
But
they're little bit over a year, if I'm not mistaken,
yeah,
because Solomon was
yeah.
born in like October and Truly turned 1 in April.
Well, okay, okay. But it was it's just the fact that when push comes down to shove, we also have to keep in mind too, and this is the asshole thing to say, but we also have to keep in mind too that the OG-13 were Cody's responsibilities.
Hmm.
These children were his children. They're his responsibility. If he chooses to take on additional children, that's fine. That's good. But he has to make sure before you do that, ideally, you want to make sure your kids are okay. And you want to make
Right.
sure that your responsibilities are taken care of before. And this is not even like instead of, this is before you bring on additional responsibilities. Before you go
Right.
out and you make sure that your kids are good before you go out and try to make more kids, and or you go out and try to meet a woman who has kids and you're not even feeding your babies.
Right.
Because at the same time, I've seen where people will try to um blame Janelle or Christine or Meri for taking out social program, being involved with social programs, whether it's SNAP or whatever. At the end of the day, Cody was in the house too.
Hmm.
And so if we're going to hold them accountable for, committing welfare fraud, Cody's ass was
Gotta
there
hold
too.
Cody up. Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Gotta hold him
he'd
responsible
be a
too.
co-conspirator. And if anything, you might be able to RICO everybody. Yeah, yeah,
Not the
RICO.
Rico.
Because they're all part of a criminal conspiracy at that point. So, I
Right.
mean, when we
Allegedly.
start, yeah, allegedly. But if we're going to start throwing rocks at this one and that one for not taking care of their kids, and Janelle for not providing for her kids, and how come she didn't do this, and how come she didn't do that, Cody is their father. Cody is 100% those kids' father. He's just as responsible for the care and well-being of those kids as their mothers are. So
Right.
if at the same time when Janelle was talking about her kids were going hungry, because she was putting a lion's share of her money into the mortgage and everything else. That's Cody's responsibility too. That's not just on Janelle to make sure those kids get fed. That's on Cody's ass too. Same thing with Christine. When
1,000%.
Christine was down because her kid, like she had a postpartum depression and she couldn't deal with
Mhm.
all her kids. Instead of
Mhm.
relying just solely on the other wives, well, we got other mothers in the house. Well, they also have a fucking father, pardon my friend. They also have a
Huh.
father. And that's your responsibility to go over there and make sure your kids are okay. It's not just on Christine to make sure that your 10-year-old is tucking your babies in. It's your response, especially if you're under the same damn roof. There's no way in the world I'm be under the same damn roof as my children, and I got my 10-year-old down there checking on my children. And
Right.
like, because I'm too lazy to walk down the damn flight of steps. There's no way in the world
Well,
that's happening. And I don't
well,
care
you know why
if
it
I'm sleeping
happened.
with Meri or I'm sleeping with Janelle, y'all need to understand that I gotta go check on these babies. I'll be
Right.
back. And let that be that. But I'm
Well,
sorry,
I
what were
mean,
you saying?
he kind of pulled out and stopped really helping when she started questioning why he was leaving and going to Robbins and taking the 5 hour trip. And you know what I'm saying? Like she said, he
Right.
was leaving his family and picking Robin and her kids over her and the rest of the OG 13 and the OG threes. And I
Mm,
definitely get it and I understand. And I don't want to blame it solely on like her hormones and being emotional with being pregnant. It's just the fact that I see a difference. And the fact
mm,
that you're not breaking your back for me, but you're breaking your back for a newcomer who hasn't put in the time, who hasn't put in the work, and pardon my French, I'm gonna say it early, she ain't even put up with all your shit. Because Cody came with
right.
a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? And to want to drop everything because now all of a sudden you're crying and you're all in love and everything else, it's a problem. That's the problem. Like
Right.
I dated an ex who he would put more into my kids than he would some his own kids, and he had quite a bit. And I would have to sit back and look, because my girlfriends would be like, "Oh, girl, that's a good man, and that's a great man," and I was like, It made me side eye him for a minute because, granted, my daughter might need some new shoelaces for her shoes, but your daughter needs a whole new pair of shoes. You were quick to
Right.
run to go buy shoelaces, but telling your daughter to tell her mama she needs some shoes. I see no problem with
Right.
that. And I look
Right.
at that like in Cody's situation, whatever Robin's kids needed, it seemed like he dropped to make sure they had it no matter what. Whether that $175 child support was coming in, child support check was coming in from Preston or not. But yet,
Mm,
if there was a need in Christine's household, she had to save grocery money that she was already couponing for, and food stamps only stretched so far. When you got
mm,
6 kids, you know what I'm saying? One of them being a boy, preteen, I'm pretty sure Peyton ate her from house and home. Then on top of the fact that she's feeding Janelle's kids, and who has predominantly boys. So I know Christine's cabinets probably stayed bare majority of the month because everybody's coming to her house to eat. Hell, Janelle wasn't cooking breakfast, dinner, lunch, and dinner for her own kids. Christine
right.
was. Meri didn't allow them to ransack her kitchen, so it pretty much boiled down that Christine was carrying the backbone of the family. So yes, when she had a need, Cody should have helped out. And I get it, as one man is spreading himself thin. Well, maybe that wasn't the right religion for Cody overall. And I'm gonna hold on to that belief till I'm blue in the face. Like I don't think polygamy was inclined for Cody. Like his dad might have done it one way, other elders in the church might have done it another way. That wasn't for Cody. Cody wanted to
Right.
get, his pencil wet, and then once the show came out, he damn sure wanted the attention and the limelight. But you don't go around. I don't believe you dog out other people and strongly think you're going to be blessed for it in no religion. I don't see where any
Mm,
God will be like, you know what? Come on in, my beautiful, faithful child. You've just been dogging out kids, innocent kids that didn't choose to be here. They didn't ask to be born into the families that they're born into, and they damn sure didn't ask to be treated the way he's treated his kids, even past the age of 18. But, Cody's a royal piece of crap, and I don't know if I could be somebody who sees Cody in public and just wants to take pictures. I probably would have a hell of a lot to say and be on
mm.
Roll Star cussing him out as he's trying to walk past to get out of the store. Because at this
Fair.
point, it's past ridiculous. And I can't say I'd even be nice to Robin, even though I hold Cody the most responsible, but she definitely has played her part. You can't be a victim and a villain. You gotta pick a side. You can't have it one way where, oh, polygamy was great and the family's just lovely and this is the family I want my kids to come into, but then claim years later, well, they were never nice to my kids. And it took almost 10 years for them to accept us and this, that, and the third. I'm sorry. Ain't no way in hell I'm staying in any family that's been dogging me and my kids out for 10 years. Not happening.
Right.
I'm not trying to be the legal wife, the first wife, the favorite wife. I'm going to be the wife that got gone because me and my kids would have been out. Just wouldn't do it. But that's me. I'm not Robin and
Right.
she ain't me. So when it boils down to it, I don't know when it comes, if we'll ever be able to see the contracts. I don't know if they'll ever truly be honest. Would love to see the tell-all with all of them together, but again, I doubt that's going to happen. We know it doesn't happen this season. Doubt it will happen in
Right.
any other future seasons we may get. But a quick tidbit on one of the callers earlier when you guys were discussing Meri's worthy of.
Mhm.
I believe the person who helped, and I'm bad with names, and I probably should have went back and looked up the woman's name, Tanya something or other. I don't remember her name, but supposedly she's like huge in the MLM world, and like she does marketing and everything else. So it just made me
Right.
think that her worthy up may just be a marketing ploy. The LuLaRoe kind of got off on a bad tangent, especially when all the specials like on Amazon and Discovery Plus came out regarding the owners of that company and how a lot of the salespeople who decided to sell LuLaRoe were given bad product. They lost a lot of money. Some people even lost their homes and went bankrupt, all while the head honcho, MLM pyramid scheme, they made more money at the top, and those at the bottom were kind of left to their lonesome. So Meri is still a top trainer, top person still to this day with LuLaRoe. But this Worthy Up supposedly is a new MLM. And that could be why she has a hard time explaining to people when they ask simple questions like, what exactly is Worthy Up? Like she can never come out and say, "Oh, it's a product, it's a drink, it's a shirt, it's a smile, it's this, it's that." It's like the long roundabout way, and then hits
Right.
it with a, "Well, that's Worthy Up." Well, you didn't tell me nothing. So
Yeah.
that was just my.
Because that would make more sense. But the whole thing with the like, if you have a business platform that's supposed to be helping people, I think that
Hmm.
that's where she's going to reach her problem if it is an MLM. Because usually with MLMs, you at least have a product that you kind of hawk to people. Might be a junk product, but yeah,
Hmm.
you have some kind of tchotchke that you can offer to people that way they feel like they're getting something. Whereas with
Right.
if it's just like, oh, I'm gonna make you feel better, and you pay me $400 and get people to join,
Right.
that's you gonna go to jail, like yeah, like allegedly. If that's what you're doing, yeah, you gonna get a one-way ticket.
Yeah,
You
because
don't
I've
get the
seen
ticket.
I've caught maybe one or two of her Fridays with friends, and of course the chat be live and popping over there too, some good and some bad. But it was a lot of people asking her like, "What does worthy up mean? Can you explain it to me?" And she threw her engine threw out some long about strenuous answer that still didn't directly answer the question. I think it left people more confused than before they asked the question. And I'm like,
Yeah,
you want people to hawk up so much money for conferences and this, that, and the third, but you can't even tell us what the hell it is you're talking about.
right. Well, if you can't explain what you're selling them, then there's a problem from the top. Because if you can't explain to me what the product is, you definitely can't tell me what the value is of the product that you're selling me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like
Like,
Miss
so
Linda said, don't be stupid. So I'm not stupid
yeah,
enough to bite and fall for it. But it's, hey, to each his own. If those that follow Meri and love her so much that they'll blindly worthy up, hey, worthy up. It ain't for me. I think my therapy and my church sessions will be just enough. But
Right.
That, that was all I had to say. So I'll see
All
you
right.
back in the chat.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much. Fantastic. Carmel Cutie's one of our mega mods. Um, I think that there's a lot of heat because I'm seeing some of the conversation in the chat. I think there's a lot of heat that we bestow upon Robin, and I don't think that it's completely unjustified in the sense that she knew what she was doing when she came into the family, and I think she was very direct with it. And I think that, if anything, we could probably be mad at Robin because she was good at what she did. Like she saw something that she wanted, she maneuvered herself and her family to be in position, and she took advantage of the opportunity. One of the things that I've always said and the position I've always held is that, and I stand on this, no matter how bad Robin may have been or the things that she may have tried to do within the family, whatever her motivations were, at the end of the day, Robin could only do as much as Cody allowed her to do. Cody was the throughway. So everything that Robin did, or we accuse Robin of trying to do or accomplishing, the only way that that's possible if Cody signs off on it. And now, if he's whipped and she got him tied around her little finger or whatever the case may be, that's his choice. That's still his choice. That's still his choice. So he chose to do, like, if he didn't go to Isabel's surgery because he wanted to hang out at Robin's house, that's because he chose to be at Robin's house. And I say that with this being said, the same way he could look Christine in the face and say, I'm not going to no damn surgery, the same way he could look at Janelle and tell her that she got to kick her kids out of the house, even though he's not paying rent at that house and he's not even staying there. But you got to tell your kids that they got to leave because I want to come over and hang out with you because I need something to do on Wednesdays because Robin don't really want me around. If he can nut up when it comes to talking to these ladies that way, tell Meri all kinds of crazy, say all kinds of crazy shit to Meri. If he could do that to Meri, Christine, and Janelle, if he has it in him to do it to Robin. Being whipped aside, he has it in him to be nasty. So him not being nasty to Robin is his choice. And that's his decision. And so when Robin, I still stand on the fact that I don't think Robin had direct access to the family funds. I think that he's married to Robin. He wants to keep Robin happy. He's afraid what will happen to his money if Robin were to actually divorce his ass. So he tries to keep Robin happy. So Robin goes out, spends a bunch of money. He has to cover that money. He'll use the family funds to do it. Is that Robin's fault? You could argue that, she has some participation in it for sure. She knows that he doesn't have the money or where he's going to get the money from. You could argue that, she was okay with him taking the money from the other family members. But at the end of the day, he took the money. He's the one that's doing it. He's writing the checks. So I get like a lot of the frustration with Robin. And I get the fact that she has a lot of stuff going on that might be a little sketchy. She got a lot of stuff that's sketchy. And she does talk out of both sides of her mouth a lot. But at the end of the day, I kind of stand on the fact that I don't think that any of that would be possible without Cody's permission. And simply because of the way that the family is structured. The family is structured so that the husband is in a position of power, not the first wife, not the legal wife. The husband is in a position of power because she gets her power through him, not the other way around. Like Cody's not powerful because he's married to Robin and he has Robin's favor. Robin is powerful because she has Cody's favor. And so, I think that we also have to just kind of keep that in mind a little bit. What was this? Karma Cutie said the same way he could have told Robin, I'm going to the surgery. He could have worked with his sons during the vid. Cody is a damn simp, and Robin has taken full advantage of Cody and OG3. Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. Again, I'm not saying that she didn't take advantage of him. For sure she did. She definitely got advantage because I think that Robin is also smart enough or crafty enough or wicked enough, however you want to phrase it, whatever adjective you want to use. I think she's aware enough to put herself in position where she gets the most out of a situation. And that situation comes to her benefit. Now, bad or good, it is what it is. And I do think that she took full advantage of that situation. Answer these last couple. James, do you think Cody got power hungry and abusive? I think that the problem I have with any power dynamic, especially where you have absolute power, is that power doesn't necessarily corrupt. It reveals who you are. I believe that. And if at your core you're a bully, then having excessive power, especially in the light of potentially losing that power or influence, could make for a dangerous situation. Do I have any evidence that Cody was abusive or whatever? No, I don't have any evidence to that fact. But in the realm of possibility, do I think that it's possible for somebody who's had pretty much absolute roughshod power to do whatever they wanted to do, then to have that power questioned at some point, especially 30 years later, 20 years in a relationship, 30 years in a relationship, you have that power question? I think that could cause a problem. Do I think that if somebody wants to leave a relationship where one person feels like they're at a higher power, a higher level, and the other person feels like they're at a lower level, do I think that could cause an issue? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that could cause an issue. I think that could cause problems. And I think that is where you would see what some might refer to as he's different or there's a turn. It's not that so much that there's a turn, there's just a change in circumstances which causes or gives rise to him or her being the person that they always were. I don't think that what we're seeing on the screen is Cody being new. I just think that what we're seeing on the screen is Cody being Cody. And I think that there's a very subtle difference in that. Like, that's just who he always was. When he set it up and, oh, if you guys want to leave, I'll give you the money. You could go and all that. I think that was a thing that he said to them. Maybe he believed it. But when it was time for them to go, he said, this is my stuff. You can leave, but you can't take my stuff with you. And that, like I said, that's a power thing. Like, and he got stripped out with the power. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Oh, this will be my last one. Wendy's front yard on Big Love, they said you need 3 wives for the kingdom, but they strongly discourage him from taking a 4th. Yeah, because I think that if you have, like I said, it goes from like 3 wives to 7 wives. So if you have 4 through 6 wives, it doesn't do anything for you. It just creates complications in your life and your marriages, because you don't get elevated until you have that 7th wife. I believe that's how it goes. If we have any Mormons or people who understand the principle, for sure, you guys can put it in the chat. But I think that that's pretty much how it goes. Like, you have to have 3 wives, you get elevated. But then say you have 6 wives, you still basically have 3 wives plus 3. Then you get 7 wives, then you get elevated even higher. So if you get 3 wives, I think you gotta you basically if you have 3 wives, you try to get married again, you're basically sending indications that you're going to get 4 more wives. Yeah, let me check one more thing. Oh, I don't know if we got this, but Lizzie B gifted another membership. Thank you so much, Lizzie B. Gifted 1 membership to the My Take on Reality memberships. Just so you guys are aware. Thank you so much, Lizzie B. Let me give you a little something. Here we go. Thank you so much, Lizzie B. Just so you guys know, I will be dropping the members video tomorrow. The members video will look a little something like this. Yeah. Oh, that's the one I just dropped it today. So if you guys want to check that out, we have that video up. Let me just get rid of some of these banners. Okay. The video I'll be dropping tomorrow for the Motivational Monday is Motivation Mondays when loving them hurts you. This is I'm proud of this video. Hope you guys take time to check it out. It will be available for everybody Wednesday, but it'll be available to the members crew. Motivation Members Monday. It'll be available tomorrow morning, bright and early Eastern Standard Time. I think I have it dropped at like 8 o'clock. I want to say 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And then I will be rolling another video out tomorrow for public. Then this video will be available on Wednesday for everybody. So I just want everybody to be able to have an opportunity to see what it looks like so that you know when you see it. It should be a good one. It should be a good one. Hopefully it maybe it talks to some folks who needs a talking to. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out with a player. Let me give a huge shout out. What's this, Becky? The AUB is just another MLM, but the currency is wives. Yeah. And I think that, and just as my last comment, I know I keep promising it, but just as my last comment, I think that the mindset that they cultivate the members in a lot of these groups is what makes them susceptible to multi-level marketing sales pitches. So they hear, like, they grow up hearing this thing and like this certain type of a sales pitch. Then when they get to the MLM, it's right in line and right in stride with the things that they've always been taught. So it makes sense. That's why I think that they have such a huge presence. Multi-level marketing businesses have such a huge presence in Utah because it goes right along. It's almost a companion business to go along with their religion. But fair play, Becky. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. I had a great time. I got to learn some things, talking to some folks, got some different perspectives. If you guys have a different perspective and you want to call into the show, I'm more than willing to talk to you, or send me an email, send me a speak pipe. Again, you guys can hit me up in speak pipe. What's the name? Lizzie has a cool look on. You guys can hit me up on speak pipe and leave a message, a 90-second message. Again, if you guys want to leave your name, that's fine. If you want to go anonymous, that's also fine. You can leave the message. You leave the message anytime during the week. I will respond to those messages on a Thursday night live. We'll have a good time. I've done it in the past. It's awesome. It's great. It's a good time. It's easy to do. Just go to speakpipe.com/my take on reality. Leave a message, or you guys can leave an email for me down below. Got my email address. You know, of course, we have the Sunday night call-in shows. I want to thank all the callers, everybody who called in. Good to see you, Betty. Also, I want to make sure I give a special thanks and a super shout out to the Mega Mods, Carmel Cutie, Brittany Not Brittany, as well as Lizzie B. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Let me give you guys a little something for hanging out with a player all this evening and keeping it funky and keeping it live, and especially staying chill in the chat. I appreciate that. Like I say, YouTube should be fun for everybody. So give you guys a little something.
Currently, Robin and Christine are staying at home, and my income covers them. Sometimes Janelle will throw in for groceries and stuff.
It's a little video by accident. It was on point, though. All right, guys.
I used to be not so great with money when
I used to be not so great with money when I was a kid, but now I'm good with money, so I'm all good. All right, guys. That's my take. I'm messing up now. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to the people in chat. Thank you to the Mega Mods. I appreciate you. That's my take. I'm James. This has been my take on reality, and I'm out. I'll see you guys for Monday Motivations. All right.